we are live, episode 62 of the weekly comic wrap up. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one because tonight's guest, well, you guys are familiar with him. You've seen him many times, of course, but he actually just came back from a Comic Con as well in Canada. I saw everybody out in the States and at the Baltimore Con. I gotta say, man, Baltimore looked like it was a blast. I was just talking with Nemesis and a few of the guys, Rocksteady. I would like to go to Baltimore next year. I think that's going to be the number one priority, maybe even over Terrificon. So we shall see. But Baltimore looking pretty awesome, man. I hope everybody had an awesome Batman day. Got yourself some deals, a lot of DC deals, a lot of Batman stuff. But we're going to talk some more Batman stuff as well in the Hot Topics. But let's get into the show. Let's bring on my guest because he just finished a full bucket of Popeye's Chicken Hyper Combo Comics. What's going on, bro?
It was a 3-piece. It wasn't a full bucket. Although, I mean, a full bucket I could probably do, but no, it was a 3-piece.
Yeah. 3-piece. I don't believe you one bit. In fact,
I was on the road. I didn't want to take any risks. All right.
But yeah, man. Yo, okay. So you just came back from London Comic Con, which is in London, Ontario, for those of you who are not familiar up here in Canada. But yeah, man, how was it?
Honestly, dude, I've been to, several cons, like I was with you at Terrificon and I've done Fan Expo. I would say in terms of cons I've done, this is probably the most that I've kind of taken out of a con in terms of I bought stuff, but I also talked to a lot of creators, got some content for my channel. And it helps that the whole thing was revolved around the 40th TMNT celebration. So it literally was pretty much catered to my fandom. So honestly, in terms of con, I felt like it was one of those cons that I got the most out of it in those 2 days. So
that's what I was gonna say is you actually on your YouTube channel, which guys, if you're not subscribed, please do. It's actually the link is in the description below in this video. You went there. It was very TMNT themed. You met Ben Bishop, Kevin Eastman, you met so many people. You even put out some interviews, man. And this was your first go around on interviews live in person with these artists, these creators.
Yeah.
How did you find it, man?
The thing is, I mean, like you said, it was my first time doing some interviews. There were some hiccups. I mean, mainly on the audio side, but it's one of those things like you live and learn. And yeah, like you mentioned, I did drop a couple of interviews, and I still have a few more in the pipeline that I just got to edit and drop. So stay tuned for that. And I don't know if I'm going to get a strike or not, but I do have the full recording of Kevin Eastman's sit-down interview at London Comic Con. So technically I can upload it. We'll see if anything comes of that. But
you won't get a strike if you were the one filming it, dude. There shouldn't be any problems.
Okay, so in that case, I look for that one. So it's an Eastman interview that's about I think he was speaking for it was a Q&A that was almost like an hour long. So I had the full hour filmed.
My God. Yeah. You see, this is how I could tell you got a brand new phone because you had enough data to do that.
I had enough data and but like I said, first rodeo doing all these interviews. So after hearing some of the stuff back, it was a learning experience. Like there's some stuff I definitely could change and improve on, but that's kind of how you do it, right?
Yeah. Now you were my co-pilot going to Terrificon, of course. Now I know it must have felt lonely on a long drive without me there, but Terrificon, London Con, well, London Comic Con, clearly different, right? Clearly different, completely different vibes. How did you find this as opposed to, let's say, Terrificon?
So the thing is, I treat them differently because Terrificon, there was a lot more people in the community that I was able to hang out with.
Yeah.
So it was more of a hangout con for me, Terrificon, versus London Comic Con. It was like more like getting straight to business. Basically, like I had a certain agendas that like I want to talk to this guy, like on set days, and it helps that it was like a small console. It wasn't like I wasn't like overwhelmed. Like Terrificon, like you saw the number of dealers and vendors there are, so it was a lot more intimate at the London Comic Con. So they're both cool in their own rights, but just in their, like I said, Terrificon was much more of a community-based con versus London Comic Con. I think the only people that I really bumped into was Humblood, and that was the only guy in the community that I really bumped into. And then I met some people, new people at the London Comic Con, but really, it was a much smaller scale con compared to Terrificon.
I saw that. I saw you post a picture with him. So yeah, clearly a lot more smaller when it comes to people from the community, but on the side of comics, it clearly looked like you made some moves.
So it's funny because I actually probably got more stuff at the LCSs and the shops outside the con, like in the London, Ontario area, more so than the
Hmm.
so there wasn't that many dealers, and I was actually told from people that have gone to London Comic Con, actually this is actually more dealers than they normally had, and that's saying something. So
Okay.
I think mainly because there was like they had some marquee people, so probably more dealers, especially with their TMNT stuff, came out to kind of sell what they had. But apparently, with the little comic dealers that they had, it was actually more than usual. So it was more of a like like Montreal Comic Con, like how we sometimes say it's turning into like a pop culture con more than a Comic Con.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like I mean, yeah, there are comic dealers, but there's more like people selling action figures, trinkets, and all that. So
Yeah.
honestly, my hunting was mainly outside the con during those 2 days.
That's good. I mean, look, I imagine there were price markups, of course, at the con, so definitely taking it out
Not
the
as
con.
not as bad as some other bigger cons. That's why I like these smaller cons because I guess the table prices are cheaper.
Hmm.
Like if you go to Fan Expo, forget it. Like you really got to be lucky to find like in my opinion good deals at like major cons like Fan Expo Canada and all that because those tables are ridiculously expensive. So vendors I guess make up their cost by really jacking up the prices.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. But guys, like I said, he dropped some videos with interviews. I got to check them out. They're amazing. I have to drop a comment though. I wanted to give him my legit feedback after this show, so
oh
we
wait,
will
wait,
have that
before you do,
conversation.
I just have to mention one more thing. Aside from the interviews, I will be also dropping my thoughts on London Comic Con in depth, and also like the pros and cons because there were some cons that I'll get into in the video, and also I will drop a haul video that I did at London Comic Con. So stay tuned for those.
So
But yeah,
he's gonna drop a video of cons at the con. That's what it's gonna be. So,
exactly.
but all right, let's say hi to the chat because Newbie Comics was here. He got gold. Yeah, clearly the wrong show, but yes, 100%. You can have gold if it makes you happy, sir. We got love for comics in the house. Love, appreciate you being here and always supporting. But if anybody is always supporting everybody, whether you're in the chat or not, look at that. AOA is always here, showing nothing but love to everybody. So I appreciate AOA being here. Got TKO Collectibles in the house, man. Good evening to you as well, sir. We got Mr. Baker. That's right, Mr. Baker. Guys, the Baker Shakers tonight are going to be pretty heavy. In fact, I'm going to tell you guys now. I know every week I say I'm checking the list. CBSI, Covrprice, eBay, you name it. Tonight's episode is going to be strictly Baker Shakers and Covrprice. We have a lot to go through because there were a lot of shakers on both sides of that coin. So can't wait to dive into that. We've got Uncanny Swag, Spinetics in the house, man. Swag, I appreciate you always coming to support, especially when Brother Hyper is on. Hyper, Swag, Spinetics. Goes back, man. It's been a while. Been
It's
a
been a
while.
while.
It has been a while. We got to change that. K-pop's in the house. Katie, yes, Katie was just live, guys. If you missed it, she was going over some Powerpuff Girls stuff, which, dude, be honest. Don't lie to me. You watched Powerpuff Girls growing up. I know you did. I know you
Come on,
did.
Mojo. What's that monkey's
Mojo
name?
Jojo.
Mojo Jojo. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, Mojo Jojo, Baltimore is so much fun. Oh, Katie, if you went, please let us know what you thought about it because seriously, I really, really want to go. But I gotta bring this woman with me next time. Marissa, my wife, I appreciate you so much for always holding the fort and allowing me to do what I'm doing tonight. But yeah, I think my wife, if my wife would come to these cons, she'd be like, "Yo, what the hell is going on? What is going on? Why are you standing in front of these boxes for 3 hours?"
Maybe you should ease her in to first take her to like a Montreal Comic Con before taking her to like the ones in the States.
That's a good plan. Good
Yeah.
plan. But speaking Montreal and Comic Con, Steph's Comics is in the house. Steph, thank you so much. He actually sold me an awesome book this weekend, so
I
I'm
saw.
I
I
can't
saw
wait
that.
to pick that up. Can't wait to
Yeah.
pick it up. I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys eventually once I have it in my possession. I will not celebrate until I have it. But we got Derek in the house, man. Derek, appreciate you being here, of course. Always supporting, always in the chat. Can't wait to hear what you have to say about tonight's show. Uni X, yes, man. Uni X in the house, dude. Uni's always crushing it. Please go show some love to Uni. Subscribe, not subscribe. Sorry, go follow him on Instagram. I wish I could say subscribe. I wish he had a YouTube channel. We got to convince Uni, man. And yes, I agree with him saying Hyper is always killing it on the
Appreciate it,
hunt.
Uni.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing
I'm
all right.
I'm learning from the best.
Yeah, Uni, not me, that's for sure. But Lefteros is in the house. He left. We're gonna go through Lefteros' picks in just a minute for the FOC selections of the week. Lots of big books to talk about tonight. And of course, Michael Schwartz is in the house. Guys, if you haven't read Armored yet, please do yourselves a favor, because Armored is probably one of my favorite indie books and is such a fun, exciting read. So please check that out. And hey, if you want to support him even more, go on Netflix, check out No Malone. Did you ever watch that? Clearly not. You don't have kids. I watch it with my kids.
No.
Absolutely love watching No Malone. I think we've watched it a trillion times. A
Okay.
trillion times. But yes, brother Phil's in the house. Phil's Treehouse, guys. Another person I highly encourage everybody go and show some love to, support, and subscribe to his channel. Now, Hype, I know this is not your most favorite part, but we will get through this. We will get through this because it's the FOC selections of the week. Sir, are you ready?
I guess so. Yeah, I'm ready.
He's ready. All right, guys, the FOC selections of the week for September 23rd. Now, of course, these picks have been selected by none other than Lefteros, and you can go and see tomorrow an even more extended, detailed list regarding his selections over on Covrprice. But for tonight, you have myself and Hypercombo Comics. Before you do anything, please go visit comicnation.us. If you're in the United States and want to order some of these books, which no one's forcing you to buy them, you buy them as you please, go visit comicnation.us. You can get yourself an additional 5% off by using discount code Black Crown. You already got 15% off, but get that extra 5, make it 20. And if you're in Canada, guys, go visit comiclegion.ca. 20% off of the cover price already for the books on FOC. But if it's your first order, get an additional 5% off of your order by using discount code ENLIST. All right, Hype. First book up for grabs. We've got Brave and the Bold, issue 18. This is the cover B, first appearance and cover of a mysterious new villain. Villain looks a little interesting, but dude, as much as I try with Brave and the Bold, I'm not into it. I'm really not. It was on the back burner for some time, and I recently caught up with some of the Nightwing stuff that's going on in there. It's not my vibe. But props to Lefteros, and shout out to him for letting us know that there's a first appearance and clearly a cover.
So wait, is this new villain that guy that's whispering sweet nothing to Batman?
Pretty much.
Okay. I mean, look, Christian Ward is a very prolific artist, and I mean that cover definitely screams Christian Ward out, because I've seen some of his work and Something Is Killing the Children and all that. So it's a unique cover. I'm not reading the series, so I'll take your word on it in terms of how it's going. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really much all I have to add to that.
Well, like I said, shout out to Lefteros for letting us know. Myself, not entirely enjoying it, but I'm getting through it. I'm caught up now on Brave and the Bold. Conquest 2099, issue number 2. This is the main cover, which is a pretty badass cover, man. I'm loving this cover. First appearance of Webweaver 2099. Now, if you guys don't remember Webweaver, Hype, do you remember Webweaver? The controversial Spider-Man from the Edge of Spider-Verse series. Remember, there was like a gay Spider-Man.
Yes, yeah.
Now all fashion designer and stuff like that. So I know
you're talking about like the Edge of Spider-Verse, the new series that
yeah,
out,
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we're gonna see the 2099 version of that. Although I don't care what anyone feels about that. I sincerely don't care. I actually enjoy the character. The actual stuff that's been going on, Annihilation, now Conquest, it's been pretty interesting. It doesn't hold a candle to the original stuff. Like Annihilation is still always going to be my favorite series. But this is just pretty interesting, one. And two, like I said, I'm enjoying what we're getting so far.
I'm just surprised that we're getting like a 2099 version of that character that literally came out 2 years ago, I think.
It's relatively quick, right?
Yeah, so to have a 2099 version already that soon, I mean, interesting take.
Yeah. Have any of these new 2099 books been hot and sold out? I will tell you, there was that what was that Silver Surfer issue? That homage, Silver
You're talking
Surfer.
about that 1 in 25.
Yeah, there was a ratio of it. It was so sick. That was a great book.
Yeah. I can't remember what issue, but I know the cover. It basically homages Silver Surfer #1, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
or wait, was that the one with Mephisto? Because remember there was the issue where what if Silver Surfer was the Herald of Mephisto type thing? That read was absolutely amazing, where
Okay.
he basically has to go get people that are basically on their deathbed type thing, and those conversations are just so sick. It was a great concept. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, Conquest 2099. I feel like we're going off the rails. Michael, I swear to God, I feel like I could talk to you forever, especially Silver Surfer. But Conquest 2099, number two, first appearance of Webweaver 2099. Here we've got Venom War, Lethal Protectors, issue number two, main cover, first full appearance and cover of Silver Sable as the Silver Symbiote. You can see it on the cover. I think the design looks neat. Everyone's been pretty much in symbiotic form at one point or another. So I'm it's no surprise here.
Wait. Like I never really heard of this artist's name before. Crease. Have you heard of him before, Crease?
Yes,
You have. Okay. He has that many E's in his first name.
yes, he has that many, or I think it's two, not three. Maybe it's a typo.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, am I supposed to scream that first part out? Like, okay,
No, 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 don't.
okay. No, listen. You know my take on symbiote characters lately. I feel like in terms of new symbiote characters, it just seems like now they're kind of getting churned out a bit too regularly. It seems like. So
Yeah.
I mean, as a read, if it's a good read, fine. But like I my take on your last show previously, if you're going off of just first appearance of symbiotes, I don't know. I mean,
So
tread
Letero's
cautiously.
confirmed. Sorry, that it is three
It is
E.
3 E's.
It
Okay.
is three E's. Yeah. The Venom War stuff, though, like let's disregard the first appearances for a quick second. But the
Hmm.
Venom War stuff has been very, very good, and
Okay.
now we know for a fact within the month of December we're going to be getting we're going to get a new Venom. Um, it's pretty evident who it's going to be. I feel like it's almost confirmed that it's going to be Luke Cage.
But do
Um,
you? Oh, sorry. I'll let you continue.
yeah, no, but I was going to say, like, if you're not disregard just 1 second the first full appearances, etc. It's been fun. The Venom War stuff is really good.
But what's your take on knowing like? I mean, I get Marvel has to do these solicitations like months in advance, but the fact that you kind of already know the end game of Venom War when the series hasn't been completed yet, and you already are aware there's going to be a new Venom in December. It kind of jumps the gun, I kind of find, but I get it. They kind of have to do it because they have to solicit these books
Well, you
2 to 3
also
months in
gotta
advance.
look. Let's be honest. Ever since Donny Cates hopped off, and then we got Ram V, and then all this current Meridius stuff, and all of that run, I feel
Mm,
like a lot of people jumped off. It got a little too complex. A lot of people were just like not taking in Venom as a series the way
right.
they were prior. Um, did they do it to jump the gun? No, I think they want to build hype again. Clearly,
Mm,
we know it's going to end without Eddie or Dylan having the symbiote, but
right.
who's it going to be is one thing. How it's going to take place, I think, is going to be very crucial and important. So that's for myself is making me want to read the build up to what takes place. So I think it was not too bad of a move, but I agree with what you're saying. Not to disagree, but yeah. But all right, Wolverine Revenge Red Band issue number 3, polybagged edition with exclusive pages and elevated violence. Of course, I think we're all accustomed to that now with the red bands. From what I'm hearing, I have not read issue 2. I know that Chiapet actually reached out because he had the opportunity to read it, and he told me he's like, I really feel like Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo are treating this as their Marvel version of Hush. Like they're really
Okay.
really locked in on this one. And here you have the 1 in 25 incentive cover. They're still continuing with these horror covers that are homaging the older books. I love this. Pretty neat. I like the look on Wolverine here. The red band one, this particular cover in general, looks like my kids when they're hugging each other. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like one always like over
Wow, that's
squeezes the other one.
looks
But yeah,
painful.
man, did you pick up any of this or?
I have not. I have not. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is considered like a self-contained series, right? It's not
Yeah,
really part of continuity.
no.
Okay, I mean that's pretty cool, I guess, just from in terms of as jumping on point, knowing that you don't have to kind of read like the previous Wolverine ongoing to kind of enjoy it. And look, Marvel knows that these pre-code horror homages are a success. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So they're, they know that these sell. So I'm not surprised that they're continuing with these 1 in 25 ratios. And I mean, my thing is like the whole option of getting a red band versus a regular. I'm like, look, the creative team had like their vision of how they wanted the story to be. So I would say that the red band would probably be the true version
Yeah.
of basically how the story should play out, and more like, I guess, the watered down PG version, I guess, is just meant to cater to the general. But listen, if you, I guess, if you have a stronger stomach, go with the red band, just because that is the intended direction for this series.
For myself, red band all the way, man.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I buy them as red bands. I don't open them. I keep them sealed and closed because they're polybagged, but I do end up reading them online. Yes, I'm one
Okay.
of those guys. I apologize. But anyways, Wonder Woman 14, the cover B here is going to give us the origin of the birth of Trinity. Now, we all remember Trinity. A lot of people were speculating, including Newbie Comics, who kicked off our chat tonight. But a lot of people showing a lot of love to Trinity. Here you've got the cover B. Now, it looks like clearly, we see that we're going to have the origin of the birth of Trinity, and you figure this cover B is an easy combination here with that cover and the story that's going to take place within the book. But I apologize, guys. David Nakayama killed it on this cover. I think it looks sick. I totally pre-ordered this.
Yeah, I don't blame you, because normally something like this also you might find it as a store exclusive. So the fact that it's an open order, that's a double whammy. And yeah, listen, Trinity was getting some fanfare when she first got introduced, and now we're getting her origin. So not a bad issue to pick up. And I guess technically we could also call it the first baby cover of Trinity. I know that baby
Yeah.
cover, baby appearances was a thing back in the day. I don't know if it still holds, but there
Yeah.
you go.
We shall see. But yes, Wonder Woman 14, if you're wondering what the origin of the birth of Trinity is like, well, there's the book. But I'm going Nakayama. I'm totally picking up
Yeah,
Nakayama. Now,
don't blame me.
X-Men issue number 6. Here's the first, well, sorry, the main cover, and we're gonna get possible reveals, first appearances, and or introductions within the book. I'm a little behind on this. I actually just picked up issue 4 this week, so I got to give it a read. I'm a bit behind. No idea where we stand right now, but I got to say, Jed McKay and Ryan Stegman are doing a good job with X-Men so far. It was a bit of a slow start for myself. I found issue 1 like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. The more I'm reading, the more I'm liking it. So
Yeah, I mean, look, you say possible first appearances. It seems like the first few issues we've been getting first appearances in the series, right? From what I understand.
yeah.
I know that issue number 1 had a couple of first appearances. So if you're following the new X-Men, probably, stick to it. I mean, it clearly they're going in a new direction. I mean, there's several offshoot titles, right? This is the main line, but then
Yeah, so
there's,
there's X-Men, there's Uncanny,
yeah,
there's
exactly.
multiple going on. But yeah, so shout out to Lefteros for this one. Now, Nightwing 118, guys. Unfortunately, this incredible run of Nightwing is coming to an end because final issue of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's award-winning run is coming to end. So here you go.
So I was actually reading the Tom Taylor run. I got off it not because of the quality, just because there was other things that kind of took over my pull list and all that. But from what I read, I did enjoy it. So um, I honestly, because I haven't been keeping up with it, I'm kind of surprised that they've kept it this long. That just shows a testament to the quality of the series. And kudos to DC for not rebooting it like so quickly. They actually went up to 118, and it's not a Batman series either. So.
Not that I never did like Nightwing prior, but this run really made me a huge fan of Nightwing. And I gotta say, because of this run, I've been wanting that Tales of Teen Titans 44 for the longest time. Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's because of this run, but this run definitely put emphasis on my hunt for it. And now with everything happening, the James Gunn universe and so forth, like I feel like the clock is ticking. It's time to pick one up, man.
Yeah, because the thing is, the prices on those aren't too bad. They're not that expensive to get a
I'm
copy of those.
regretting not picking up that 9.6 at Terrificon. I'm starting to regret it because the more
You have opportunities. I mean, like you said, but I would probably strike before any major news comes about.
absolutely. But yeah, so Nightwing coming to an end at issue 118. But check out this from DC. This is pretty funny. I love the fact that they're doing this homage in such a way, especially that it's DC, right? And it's the Superman.
Mhm.
But Action Comics #1, cover homage featuring Warner Brothers properties. And yeah, you can see right there, this is Scooby Doo's truck too. You got Scooby in the front with Shaggy. So yeah, this is pretty neat. I think it's a fun homage. Not saying that this is going to be a book that I'm going to be picking up because I haven't picked up issue 1 nor 2. But I just like this cover. So this is a cover grab, 100%.
Yeah, this is. I mean, look at it. It has so much nostalgia in one cover. You have like Scooby Doo, Tom and Jerry, like Bugs Bunny. It's like little, like it's like they crammed as much of like my childhood into one cover, and the Superman sorry, not Superman, Action homage, Action Comics homage. Just is the icing on the cake on this cover.
Yep. Oh. So I got to shout out a few people who popped up in the chat. We got Steve, my brother from Team Nerd Herd, our brother from Team Nerd Herd, of course, killing it over on Nearing Nirvana. Guys, go show some love. Subscribe to Nearing Nirvana. You'd be doing all the boys a favor and you'd be checking out some amazing content if you did. Obviously, Infamous Jeb's in the house, guys, over on IG. Infamous Jeb dropped a whole new logo for himself, and man, it looks badass. So shout out to,
It's dope.
yeah, to Infamous Jeb. I want a t-shirt, bro. I want a t-shirt, so make sure I get it. But this guy right here, Guy Forge, I want the whole chat to wish his son a happy 11th birthday because that man had an amazing weekend. Little man, of course, but he crushed it. And even check this out, guys. Look at what Guy spoiled him with.
Oh,
With
wow.
some amazing pizza. There you go.
Wow.
So shout out to Guy being father of the year.
Happy birthday,
Dude,
indeed.
yeah, man. Little man looked like he had an amazing day, and that's what matters. That's what matters. So shout out to little Guy, and of course Guy Forge. Happy 11th birthday. But let's keep it rolling because we've got Destro #5, the cover B. You got Destro and Cobra cover depiction by Sanford Green, and I gotta say, bro, this cover is perfection. For me, this is a solid cover.
Yeah, dude, Sanford Green killed it, and I'm not even reading any of the GI Joe, but this is one of those books. Like if I saw it on the shelf, I'm tempted to just pick up just based on the cover alone. Yeah, he absolutely crushed it. And the unfortunate part, it is a black cover, so just you gotta be careful on how the quality of those. I mean, but it is Image Skybound's. I find that
I have more faith.
yeah, their covers tend to hold a bit better during distribution. I find so.
Dude, this cover is just too good. Too good. Yeah, man. Lethero's pointing out, look at the chameleon on the reflection. It's just amazing. It's so good. Oh, I love it. I love it. Dude, this is a cover grab. I'm 100% picking this up. Not telling you guys to do the same. It's just myself. It's so good. We missed North 49. Sorry, I just caught you, North 49. Shout out to North 49 for being here. It looks like an older Batman cover, sort of. Yeah, gives me that vibes, man. It's just when you look at it fast, like here, I just when you go like that, I'm like Silver Surfer, and then bang, right? But yeah, no, I agree. But beautiful cover. Now we have X Factor issue #3 right here, the Daughterman variant. We know how these Daughterman covers tend to do. But here you got Polaris in multiple of her costumes, and this is a smoking cover. I love this.
And this is open order. This is not a ratio, right?
Exactly. Open order, pure cover grab.
Okay, so that's pretty cool because I know that it's with these Daughterman like many versions of characters, they have ratios and open order. So it's cool that this one's an open order. So you don't have that barrier to kind of have your shop order 25 copies just to get this book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, if you've been collecting the other, I know like the big one is that Rogue one from Excalibur. But if you've been collecting those Daughterman variants, yeah, this one is not a bad one to add to the collection. I think the only one I have is the Wolverine one from the X-Flies of Wolverine, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I like these. Now, we're all going to have to address this. We all have to talk about it. Chat, and if you're catching the replay, Venom 3 is hitting a facsimile edition. And I hate to admit this, but it's also going to be exclusives at New York Comic Con up and coming. We got foils of the fucking third print. We have so much shit coming out. Venom 3. This book's like what? Not even 5 years old, bro.
It came out in 2018, so it's about 6 years old. Because this was on my pull list, so that's why I remember.
Jesus, man. But here we are. Here we are. And yes, well, thank God. Thank God, Jeb. There's no 1 in 25. Although I would love to see a 1 in 25. That looks amazing, right? Something new, something fresh, something that would motivate me to pick this up. But man, I can't believe we're already doing a facsimile on this. And it's not the first time. Like, we've seen more recent modern books already being facsimiles, but this right here, Venom 3, guys, if you missed out, I guess here's your opportunity to pick it up. Clearly, Marvel's capitalizing on everything Venom right now.
Yeah, because look, Marvel can capitalize on the secondary market when those Venom 3s are popping off right now because of, the Knull announcement. So this is their way of basically getting in on that piece of the pie because, I mean, why not? Because look, this is the same publishing company that released a facsimile for the Jim Lee X-Men #1, which already, I mean, look, if you need a facsimile copy of X-Men #1 from the 1990s, I could point you to like a shop with my eyes closed and you could probably find original copies of that. So
for sure.
My only thing about these facsimiles is and like not so much with the Bronze Age and the Silver Age ones, but when you get into these modern facsimiles, it really starts to blur the line, not blur the line, but like you start to open up the possibility of risks of scammers.
That's something that you're spot on about. Now, look, this is what I was just saying is how we've recently got example Edge of Spider-Verse, right? Edge of Spider-Verse 2 had facsimiles. We had Ultimate Fallout 4 that had facsimiles, and people have been bit, bro, on eBay. It is what it is. Unfortunately, it has happened. But what I would like, I guess, to maybe differentiate this, I'm not a big fan of gimmicks, but feel free if you're gonna reprint a facsimile, give me a gimmick on it. You know what I mean? Feel free, do it. I don't know, man. Make it saliva foil or some shit, like, just so we can. There's many ways to distinguish. But to the average person, I guess they might miss that, right? We know to look at barcodes and stuff like that. Not everybody does.
Yeah, because look, let's take a Ultimate Fallout 4 facsimile as an example. Like, I think the telltale sign was the what is it? The border around the title, right?
Yeah.
The Marvel title, because I think it's red versus black. See, those things easily someone can kind of slip through and they might not pay attention to. And I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it is a buyer's responsibility. But like you said, it seems like it breeds opportunities for people to kind of pull one over on people, especially people that are new to the hobby. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for Marvel to kind of put something a bit more glaringly obvious. I get it. The definition of a facsimile is it's an exact reproduction, but it wouldn't hurt to just put something a bit more of a glaring, obvious sign that it is a facsimile rather than just the color of the border being different, because anyone can kind of miss that.
Exactly. But I do agree with Left Arrow saying, yes, but this one is a $100 book, one that people want to read with the trailer drop. So yes, it is exactly that.
But here's the thing.
But it's also putting the book in the hands of people who did not have the opportunity, even though we live in a world where, unfortunately, we could read online. But
not only that, but like the thing is, this is why isn't that the whole idea of late printings to begin with? And also this issue, I know for a fact.
Hold on, time out. I just want to stop you on the late printings because that was way back, even when it came out. Now the second printing itself is still up there.
You're right.
Much, but the third printing, forget it.
No, not the third printing, but there's also, like, I remember this issue actually did get reproduced in what is it called? Marvel Tales Knull or
yes, something like that.
So there are ways of reading it. Like, I'm just saying, like, facsimile is just one way, but there are, like, if you really wanted to read it, there are other cheaper ways of reading this, and it doesn't have to be online.
Yeah, for sure. But regardless, it is a good alternative. If you like that feel of reading a comic, then yeah, it's a good alternative. But I agree with Jeb, man. The 1 in 25, like a ratio for this would have been cool. With a new cover of Knull, fuck yeah, I would have totally signed up for that shit. But anyway,
yeah.
Void Rivals #10. This is the second print. You got Mr. Doolin over on this one here on the cover, and of course, it's done by Jason Howard. Void Rivals has been amazing. I just actually even got the 10th printing. All three of that gold cover. So you have the half of the two characters, and then you have the individual ones, and those are amazing. Love those covers. Loving Void Rivals. I can't stress it enough. Like Hyper said, if you missed it on the first print, here's your opportunity to pick it up on the second.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this series has been so popular that I think the previous issues have gone up to like third or fourth prints at this point, right?
Yeah, dude,
So
it's insane, man. Void Rivals, everything Energon Universe, guys. Paul in the 619's in the house. Paul, brother, appreciate you being here, man. Yes, Doolin, let's fucking go, dude. Heinz, I'm gonna assume you're not fully reading it.
no, so
Please
you have to school me.
do yourself a favor. That's all I'm gonna say. Just pick it
Okay,
up. Pick
pick
it
it
up.
up.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
it's not
Falling
often
in
you tell
love.
me to pick something up, so
Yeah, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, issue number 5. This is the 1 in 20 incentive. I'm not going to get into Frank Miller talk right now. We will get into that in the hot topics. I hate to say it, it's one of his better covers.
well, first of all, the bar is not really set very high, so I mean, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, look, I'm not gonna rag on this cover because what more can I add? I mean, that hasn't. I mean, there's other covers that we saw lately on social that, you know, like you said, this kind of. Again, I don't want to be that negative guy, so I can't really add too much to it.
Speak the truth, bro. Speak what you feel, man. It's a Frank Miller of today's cover, bro. And to
Look,
be honest, it's one of his better covers.
let me put it this way. I would like this is when you know you've hit OG fame status, when you can hit that level of notoriety and you could put out shit like this and it gets published and by a big publishing company. This is not like Marvel is one of the, like, you know, the big houses, and they felt right to, like, you know, actually wait, no, this is not Marvel. This is, sorry. I'm thinking of the other
It's
series.
Image.
Image. Okay, Image is still a big company, but still, look, clearly he's in rarefied air where he can get away with stuff like this. So we're just living in this world at this point.
Exactly, but I'm gonna highlight Michael Schwartz here because I couldn't agree more, man. I don't think they should color his covers. His new stuff looks way better in black and white. The example right here is this cover, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, I just said it's one of his better covers, and that speaks enough volumes, in my opinion. But it looks better. I would imagine colored. This looks a little strange, but anyways, Frank Miller. We will get into the Miller talk a little later in the show, but yeah. I agree with Derek. Someone take away Grandpa's keys. Trust me, I have a lot more to say, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we have Wolverine number 1, the 1 in 25 incentive. Now, Marvel doing Marvel things every week. I say this, but they're giving us a cover that was available on the first printing by Peach Momoko as the 1 in 25 incentive for the second print.
I love this cover. And like, I'm 50-50 on Momoko. Sometimes I absolutely like her cover. Sometimes I think it's a miss. This one, yeah, it's bang on. I just like, see, Momoko shines when she does colors like the right way, like the way she kind of, like the cloud gray in the background with those whites kind of peeking through and all that. It just adds a nice contrast. So, and yeah.
No, I agree. I'm not a big Momoko fan. I say it all the time, but I gotta say she does a mean Wolverine here. I really like this cover, so yeah, props to her on this one. But I just don't like the fact Marvel's making it a 1 in 25 incentive for the second print. I'm so tired of seeing this every single week.
It's par for the course at this point, though.
It is what it is. And shout out to Lefteros for always highlighting it, because you know there is a market for it. So there's nothing wrong with putting this on the list. Now, Power Fantasy number 2, the 1 in 10 incentive. Power Fantasy came out with a bang. An absolute bang, but here we have a second printing, and it's the 1 in 10 incentive that you got right here. It is a foil incentive, and the covers are done by, I'm going to botch the name, Casper Wingard.
I think it's Wingard. I think the J is silent.
Silent, good. Then I'm saying Wingard.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. You said it's a foil, so does that mean there's a regular version of this that's just non-foil?
I'm gonna assume. Yeah, well, yeah. The second printing has this cover in a non-foil, but the 1 in 10 is a foil.
Okay, so I mean, look. I know some people are for foils. Like me personally, I'm not really a big foil guy, so I probably would stick with the regular.
Yeah.
But for all you foil heads out there, there you go, 1 in 10, and 1 in 10 is not a hard ratio to hit.
Yeah.
Either. So.
Exactly. But we'll keep it rolling because the moon is following us. Number one, a second print. Man, it is a big FOC this week. But check this homage cover, guys. We were talking Energon Universe. We were talking Void Rivals. Right here, we've got the Transformers 1 cover homage by Daniel Warren Johnson. And he did a phenomenal job on this homage. I love it. The more I look at it, I don't know why. I keep thinking that the font on this cover right here reminds me a lot of the series Duo Powerbomb.
Oh, the wrestling.
Yeah.
The wrestling. Yeah. I can kind of see that.
It's clearly
Yeah.
different, but it's got that shade of it. You know what I mean? It's got hints
Mhm.
of it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I like about Daniel Warren Johnson's art is it's very he has a very manga-esque kind of feel to it when he draws his. It's very like dynamic, his colors and all
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's a cool cover, and I like the whole perspective that he's kind of done.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool cover.
Love it. Totally picking it up. But there's also the 1 in 10 incentive where I just spoke about the font. Here we have a totally different one. And yes, it looks a little familiar as well. I
Wait,
like it.
is that the only difference? Just the font?
Well, yeah, it seems to be the case because I mean
Oh,
you can
okay.
go back and forth. Nothing
To be
really
honest, I
changed.
prefer the second print looks a lot better than it almost feels like the font's taking away from the art actually
Yeah.
in the 1 in 10.
I don't disagree with you. I think this flows a lot better.
Yeah.
So you have the option of either or. Now, we're going to get to a big conversation here because Spider-Boy issue 12 is going to give us the first appearance and cover of the all-new Spider-Girl in costume. Now, there's multiple covers that feature her as well. This one right here is the Bagley one. I like it. I like them all. I like that Torque one. Torque, her name's Torque.
Elizabeth Torque, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. But I'm grabbing them all, and I'm grabbing at least 2 copies of each because I've got a little bit of faith here. I know everyone's gonna tell me Spider Boy has tanked. Yes, I know, but I ain't looking for a flip tomorrow morning. I'm looking to hold. I'm looking to hold.
Yeah, Spider-Boy tanked if you paid like $50 for it, sure it tanked. But if you kind of like paid decent prices, it still holds still above cover price. Um and I mean look, same thing with this one. I mean, people are gonna scoff at it, but then come Wednesday, I'm sure this people are gonna be hunting for this book when it sells out. So
Yep.
if it sells out, like I don't want to, kind of pump the market or anything, but I'm just saying, like, you've been warned. This is why this show exists. So if you're on the fence about it, might not be a bad idea to just have a copy just to stash so you don't feel that FOMO.
Yeah, I'm with Michael Schwartz. I think this one will grow, of course. We shall see how these characters play out in a long time. But here is one by Michael Cho as well. This is the 1 in 100 incentive.
Oof.
So, like I said, there was the Torque one, there was the Bagley one, and I really like this Michael Cho as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Cho generally, I find Spider-Man. I mean, Cho is a good artist in general, but I find that Spider-Man seems to be his wheelhouse in terms of the kind of characters he draws. Like, because I have a couple of Cho covers myself, and they tend to be more on the Spidey side. So this one's pretty cool, and I like the whole Spider Boy in the background.
Yeah,
The addition to it.
I'm gonna be honest, Jeb. This is bad news. I'm actually really sad to hear that there's exclusives for this. So yeah, kind of makes me a little skeptical on these ratios.
It's
But
gonna be it's gonna be definitely diluted. So I mean, don't go too crazy. I mean,
yeah, when she gets an ASM 300 homage, she's made it exactly. But guys, those were the selections of the week by Lefteros, and of course, a big shout out to Lefteros for all of his awesome picks. You can support Lefteros. Go follow him over on Instagram, and you can go visit comicnation.us to get yourself some of these books that you saw on the list tonight. If you're in the United States, well, 15% off already on those cover price, and you can get an additional 5 by using discount code BLACKROUND. And if you're in Canada, go visit comiclegion.ca and get yourself 5% additional off if it is your first order by using discount code ENLIST. Those books are already at 20% off, so an extra 5 sounds a lot interesting, in my opinion. Now, of course, subscribe to Covrprice, guys, over on YouTube. You can go subscribe to them. You'll catch me there every Thursday night with the Shakers, but definitely go visit the website, coverprice.com. In fact, we're going to hop into the market report, guys, and I'm going to show you guys a little something regarding Covrprice, okay? I don't usually do this, but as we go through the market report, I want to show you guys some things. I'm going to take a page out of Dr. Yo-Yo Chris's book because he does a fantastic job showing the website to everybody every Tuesday, Thursday night over on Covrprice's channel. But Hype, we're going to get into the market report now. And I know this is your favorite part of the show. So I have to ask, are you ready?
This part I'm ready.
There you go. All right, like I said at the beginning of the show, markets report. Usually I'm checking out CBSI, Covrprice, eBay, Go Collect, Ferdbird, you name it, Brian McClay, House of Stein, you name it. I'm looking at it. But for tonight only, this week only, I'm keeping it Baker Shakers, and I am keeping it Covrprice Daily Shaker, because I'm going to show you guys just how awesome that Daily Shaker tool is. So, first book on the list is a Baker Shaker, West Coast Avengers #7, first appearance of Jeff the Land Shark, CGC 98, selling at $190. It is a Baker Shaker, and it's pretty interesting because Jeff the Land Shark has been pretty popular amongst collectors, man. A lot of people took in this character with a lot of love, and I find $190 for his first appearance to be pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these anthropomorphic Marvel characters tend to do very well, especially when they kind of have a bit of a cult following. Like you saw that with Dogpool because of the Deadpool movie and all that. So
Yeah,
Jeff the Land Shark. I mean, I'm not too surprised, and to be honest, I think this could actually increase even more because West Coast Avengers wasn't exactly a highly printed run to begin with, and this is also issue 7 of the 10-issue run. So
yep.
it's closer to the end of the series. So who knows how many shops, were actually ordering um, this issue. But no, I mean, and he did have his own miniseries at one point as well. So
Yep.
and he has been featured in other titles like Deadpool. So
Dude, that cover of Deadpool with him on it, like,
you're talking about the one with him sitting on the throne?
yeah, like that
Yeah,
one too saw a little bit of a premium.
yeah, because I know that one was also a low printed. That was also the final issue of that Deadpool run. So yeah, I mean, the future looks bright for Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. $190. I like this. Good pickup in my opinion at this price range. So I would try to find a little bit more of a deal. And yeah, I'm a buyer. I'm totally a buyer. Infamous Jeb saying Venom War Jeff is coming. Dude, I hope so. That would be absolutely amazing. I see you guys talking about the comic book community awards and voting each other. Baker is already a winner. No contest needed to determine that. Michael Baker for sure, man. For the Blue Wrench, biggest supporter of channels, 100%. I would put Michael Baker. I would put AOA as well. I would put AOA. I don't know if AOA is nominated, but yeah, AOA is definitely a huge supporter. So nothing but love to both of you. Now
Wait,
check this
there's an
out.
actual category for like best supporter?
Yep, best
Oh
channel.
wow, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Black Angel over here. And if you're wondering what this is, well, it's a Dave Stevens cover. Do I need to say anything else, guys? Like Dave Stevens covers are doing awesome. CGC 98, $385. I don't know if it's nippy in here, but yeah, seems pretty excited to see us.
It's funny because of all the Dave Stevens has been getting a lot of love lately. I haven't really seen this cover getting much play, like whether it be on social media or anything like that. So I don't really see this pop featured that often. So it's pretty cool. Like this is the first time I'm seeing it, and I mean you have that Nazi swastika symbol, and for whatever reason with DC, it seems like I know those Wonder Woman issues with the swastika sell, so take that for what you will.
Yeah. Dude, Derek, he just killed me with the best nips since Val Kilmer's bat nips. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, man, CGC 98 sold for $385. So I found that to be rather interesting. Again, a Baker Shaker for tonight. Now, speaking Baker Shakers, guys, I want to show you guys this book because maybe not everybody is too familiar. And I figured with tonight's guest, this makes a lot of sense because he's equally a gamer. So gamer comic books are something that I collect, he collects, and I hope some of you as well collect. But Twisted Metal #2, this particular issue, there's only 100 copies that are in existence. Now, apparently, out of those 100, maybe 50 of them were given away. I have no idea where the other 50 are. But this particular issue that sold was signed by Phil Hester, Peter Gross, and you got a raw copy that was signed by both that sold at $1,535. US dollars, which is a pretty big and impressive sale, in my opinion. Now, you got to factor some of those things I was telling you guys, and I'm going to show you very quickly here over on Recalled Comics, where you can see it's a super rare comic book, but they break it down for you how they released this back in 1996. Now, apparently, there was a competition that was
Yeah.
going around, and only 100 copies were ever printed, and they were subsequently given out as prizes for a contest held by Sony's Tips and Tricks magazine around the time of Twisted Metal 2's release. So, this is why you're seeing such a scarce number here when it comes to the book. Now, here you can see some of the artwork within the book. I think this is neat. You have in 2018 a CGC 96 copy sold for $3,200 on eBay, and in spring 2020 a 96 sold for just under 4K. So again, a book you don't see too often hitting, the secondary market. I think this is really, really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was aware of this book, and I mean, as far as video game books goes, this is definitely considered like a ghost because, yeah, like you mentioned, this is not your typical mail away comic. You had to actually win this book essentially, so there wasn't an option to actually purchase it outright. And yeah, I hardly ever see this online, and I believe me, I actually tried looking this up just to see if there's any copies floating, and I don't think I've ever come across, and I'm sure whatever does end up surfacing online, I'm sure gets snatched up quickly because collectors know this is a very rare piece. Yeah, 100 copies is a very scarce number. And the thing is, obviously, I don't have a physical copy of this, but I have actually read the digital format of this book, and yeah, this is a pretty dark origin. Yeah, definitely don't read this if you like pets and if you yeah, it's definitely one of those disturbing issues on one of the origins of this Twisted Metal lore.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't agree more. But a very cool sale, raw copy signed by both, 1,535 US dollars. Now we're gonna continue with some obscure books. Unfortunately, this one's gonna hurt Hyper Combo Comics, but we will get into it. The Valor's Scotty Young cover right here. It is a preview edition, as you can read at the bottom, and it was limited to 250 copies. Guys, raw copies sold this week, 339 US dollars. Now, I know it says Baker Shaker. Michael Baker's probably like, what is going on? We are giving you the credit, sir, because Rocksteady Collectibles actually shared this over on his Instagram, and we started talking a bit about the book. Now, this book only started selling as of now, but Rocksteady told me he pre-ordered this book back in the month of March. So he's waited quite some time to receive this book. The book itself is not one that was easy to get. As you can hear from what I'm telling you, there was quite a delay in even receiving this. Now, I want to show you guys a little something. Here we've got 3 Worlds, 3 Moons, which is what you see over on the cover, the 3 Worlds, 3 Moons. The Valor's preview edition number 1. I don't know if you guys see this all-star lineup right here. You got Jonathan Hickman, Michael Del Mundo, Mike Huddleston. You got Jason Howard, Frank Martin, Russ Wooten. Dude, this is an incredible all-star lineup for this particular book. Here's the Scotty Young variant that I was telling you about. Now, what's cool about this, here you have, while the ongoing series is released completely free to read here digitally, this rare collector's edition will only ever be made available to Circle members. Now, the Circle members obviously is something you need to be a part of in order to have gotten a copy. Now, the Scotty Young copies were not signed, but each copy of the cover A was signed by Jason Howard, which is pretty neat. Now, Hyper, I don't know if you want to get into your story now before I continue going.
Yeah, this is why you gotta sometimes listen to your friends. Rocksteady actually made me aware of this because we were talking Scotty Young, and I don't know how the topic came up, but he actually put me onto this, and I don't know if it's because I put it off in my mind and I figured I'll just order it later, and it was like out of sight, out of mind, but I didn't pull the trigger on the pre-order.
Yeah.
And to see and yeah, when I saw Rocksteady's post on IG, I'm like, shit. It's like, yeah, I had the chance, and I whiffed. So it is what it is. This is definitely gonna haunt me. But yeah,
Like you said, it is what it is, but I'm going to dive in just a little bit further into this one. Basically, as you guys can see here, the Valors is actually available online. You can go and read it. They have so much cool stuff. And I got to say, man, Jonathan Hickman, it goes without saying, is probably one of my favorites. The lineup of people here is insane. The artwork in this book is super cool. The concept of it seems very cool. So now that I'm aware of this, I gotta say I'm totally gonna go and check this out. I only glanced through some of the first issue, but this is looking real cool. So yeah, it's funny. I feel like Michael Schwartz, who was in the chat, I don't know, Michael, if you're still here. I feel like this is totally up your alley. I think this is great. So yeah, it was neat to learn about this. I had no idea it even existed. Hyper, the fact that you knew about it and didn't tell me kind of upset me.
well, dude, like I said, like it left my mind, like so, like it wasn't like something that I was like on top of my mind. So it was,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That's fine. That's fine. I get it. I see how it works. But the Valors raw copy, 339 Canadian dollars, which is pretty impressive. So shout out to Rocksteady for sending this to myself. Fantastic Four issue 2. Let's get into this one. First appearance of the Skrulls, second appearance of the Fantastic Four. CGC 55 selling for 2,500 US dollars. It's crazy because just last week there was a very high sale for a 9.6, over $2 million for a Fantastic Four
wow.
issue number 1. A second appearance is, hey man, if you can't afford that first one, I think this is a good grab, especially as the first appearance of the Skrulls. CGC 55 selling at $2,500. Yeah, man, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, look, 5.5 is not a bad grade for a Silver Age book. And look, like you said, the first appearance is out of reach for a lot of people. And to be honest, 2,500 seems kind of cheap for a 5.5 for the second appearance of Fantastic Four and the first appearance of the Skrull. So yeah, I mean, I know that the market has been down on a lot of these blue chips books in terms of like where they were at their peaks and all that, but
Yeah,
damn, this doesn't seem like a bad buy for the grade.
dude, couldn't agree more. If I have 2,500 US to spend, this is clearly one of those books I would be eyeing because I think this is a great pickup. Great pickup. So
Yeah.
yeah, Fantastic Four number 2, CGC 55, 2,500 US dollars. Here's another cool book, Adventure Comics, issue 43. What's cool about this? See, last week I brought up a Hulk book, and it was the last 15-cent issue for the run. I like this because it's a first all color issue for Adventure Comics, and it's issue 43, CGC 1.8, sold for 481 US dollars. Again, a Baker shaker. So shout out to Michael Baker.
Yeah, I mean, from a historical standpoint, it's a cool thing to add to your PC. It doesn't always have to be like the first appearance of like a superhero or something like you said, first color, all color issues. That's a pivotal point during the golden age.
Yep.
So yeah, and again, I mean, I know 1.8 seems like a low grade, but you got to understand golden age 10 centers. There's not a lot of high grade copies out there, so 41, yeah, I mean, seems about right.
Yep. I like this. And I think 481 US dollars is very affordable for such a cool little piece of history, I guess we could say, when it comes to comic books. So 1.8 selling 481 US dollars for Adventure Comics issue 43. Now, this particular book I wanted to bring up. Michael Baker sent it my way, and I thought to myself, I'm like, Spider-Girl issue 80. This looks cool. American flag behind. So yes, if you're American, I imagine you would want to display such a book. Maybe not so much the character, but CGC 9.8 sold for 99 US dollars. And I was like, man, that is relatively cheap. But I'm curious to know, what is the census on such a book? Because I've never even seen this cover. There's only 698s on the CGC census for this book. So I think personally, 99 US dollars is very cheap for this book.
Yeah, this seems like one of those purchases that it just flew under the radar and maybe there wasn't that many watchers and someone just snagged it for $99. But yeah, if there's only 6 on the census, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty low pop. Now, I don't know if it's a case that it was just the book wasn't submitted that often, or if it's a tough book just to get a 9.8 in general. That I'm not sure, but like you said, it's a cool cover with the whole U.S. flag backdrop. I don't think there's any actual key significance on the actual issue itself, though, right?
Nope, there's absolutely nothing to it. And just to add to what you were saying about the fact of, are there more, like, is it scarce because not too many people are submitting? There's quite a few other grades that
Okay.
were on the census as well. But yeah, it could be a bit of that too, right? Like, not many people sending this in, but I would figure, man, this cover would get some recognition at one point or another. Although I do agree with what majority are saying here in the chat. Anorexic Spider Girl, super skinny, yeah, insanely skinny. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
But
she almost has like a Funko Pop feel to her. That's
yeah, but it's a cool cover, cool book. So yeah, CGC 98.99 US dollars. I think with only 698s being on the census, that's a pretty good grab. So congrats to whoever picked that up. Um, Here's one I like as well. I keep talking second appearances of characters, especially bigger characters. Tales of Suspense issue 58 has the second appearance of Craven the Hunter. CGC 7.5 sold for 317 US dollars. Again, I think that is very affordable for a second appearance of Craven.
Yeah, although I'm gonna have a differing opinion on this one, just because I've seen how much the first appearance of Craven the Hunter goes for,
Yeah.
and yeah, like for a lot of these Silver Age characters, sometimes like the second appearance is a good consolation if you can't afford the first. But to be honest, I mean, like I've tracked some of the sales on Craven the Hunter because that's just a book I was just kind of eyeing. I think a 4.0, it's probably like 700, $800 for a 4 or 3.0.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a lower grade, but honestly, if Craven the Hunter is your thing, in my opinion, I'd probably just pony up a bit more and just get his first appearance. Because he's not in like in terms of rogue galleries for Spider-Man, he's not the most expensive
No,
compared to the other ones like Sandman,
dude,
and
even
Doc Ock.
Mobius took an uptick. But yeah, no, for sure. If you're
Yeah.
talking like Shocker, Doctor Octopus, Green Goblin, and stuff like that, yeah, clearly you're gonna get way more up there. Craven only appeared much later. Not that much later, but
No, he's
relatively later.
still I mean he's still a Silver Age, but I mean yeah like in terms of affordability for Spider-Man villains, I think he's in that conversation.
Yeah, for sure. But if you don't care for the second appearance of Craven the Hunter, you have yourself an awesome little fight going on between Captain America and
Hmm.
Iron Man. So that's also a selling point. CGC 7.5, 317 US dollars. Now, I want to bring this one up, Hyper, because it's not the first time I bring up this book, but Family Guy #1 in a newsstand copy. It gives us the first comic appearance of Family Guy characters, and a CGC 98 in a newsstand sold for 203 US dollars. I think that is very affordable for such a big television show. It's The Simpsons, it's Family Guy. We think of those two. I would say pop culture wise, this is huge, man. This is huge. And the fact, yeah, exactly. AOA. This Family Guy is kind of hard to find. um, I think this is a good buy at 203 US dollars. I would have totally picked this up.
Yeah, and what's crazy is you would think that because it's an issue #1 that it would be something that you would be able to find a bit more easier. But to AOA's point, I don't think I've ever actually like no joke. I don't think I've ever seen this in the wild ever. It's like when you look at like other animated like kind of sitcoms of that era, like you obviously see a ton of Simpson #1s. Future Shop, not Future Shop, Futurama #1, not as much as Simpsons, but I've seen several copies here and there. Family Guy, I don't really see that often, if
Yeah.
ever, at the shop. So I don't know if it's because the print on this series was low to begin with, but I mean, just based on that, $200 for a 9.8, yeah, like you said, doesn't seem like a bad buy just based on the availability in the
Yeah.
wild.
Exactly. It's a 2006 newsie, man, and we know how those numbers get when it comes to 2006 and newsstands. But yeah, I think this was a phenomenal buy. So shout out to the buyer. If you do have the opportunity to come across one, you might want to snag that up because I think this has very good long-term potential.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's get to Tomb Raider. I want to talk Tomb Raider because here we have issue 11. This is the Graham Crackers Blue Foil Edition. CGC 98 sold for 199 US dollars. Baker Shaker, those graham cookies, crackers, sorry. Exclusives tend to do well. But a blue foil edition of Tomb Raider 11, $200 in a 9/8, pretty impressive.
Yeah, because I believe I don't know what the print count, but I know that there was, this graham crackers was a limited print count, and actually there's two versions. I believe there's a gold foil version as well. I don't know if the gold is more rare than this, but I know that there's two versions of this Tomb Raider 11 graham crackers edition. Yeah, man. Look, video game comics. You know the deal. I mean, like especially these exclusive ones that are like at a certain era, especially in the early 2000s, not that hard to find. I
Yep.
mean, not that easy to find. Sorry. So 200 again. It doesn't seem like a bad sale for a 9/8, especially for something with a limited print run.
Yeah, so there's a Graham Crackers Comics edition, there's the gold foil edition,
So there
and
is a gold. Okay, yeah.
there is the blue foil. Now, the blue foil, to give you guys an idea, there's only 6 9/8 that exist, and there's
Mhm.
9 total on the census. So that means amongst all grades, you got 196, 194, and 192 to give you
Mhm.
guys a better example of what's going on here. The
Right.
Graham Crackers Comics edition in a 9/8, there's 4 on the CGC census in a 9/8, and there's 194 that exists on the census. So 5 total for that one. But the gold foil that Hyper is talking about, in particular, also has only 6 CGC 9/8s on the census with 194 and 192. And yeah, that gives us 8 copies total. So
Yeah.
the scarcity is definitely there when it comes to this book, which is why I found it relatively impressive to see a sale going for relatively cheap again at CG, in a 9/8, 199 US dollars.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stick with some Tomb Raider because now we are in Cover Price Daily Shaker territory, guys, and I cannot stress it enough. I will show you guys just how awesome the tool can be. Tomb Raider issue number 50. This is the final issue, and it is a Adam Hughes cover, which we got to meet Adam Hughes. And as you can see on this cover, if you look to the bottom right, just below her cup, whatever that is, if it's a napkin or her credit card, I don't know. You see that AH? That's his signature, dude. His signature is literally that. There's nothing. There's
Believe
nothing
me,
more to it.
I'm aware because I I got two of my books signed by him.
Yeah, I have them somewhere here. But CGC 9/8 sold for 155
Yeah.
US dollars. Cover price daily shaker, and I believe this is the all-time high sale for this one in particular.
Wait, 155 is the all-time high for this
Yep.
issue?
Yep.
I'm actually surprised, to be honest, considering it is the final issue of the series and it is a classic Adam Hughes cover. I mean, I know that Hughes has done a lot of these issues near the later, like AOA, I think AOA mentioned it, like near the later part of this Tomb Raider run. I think one of the more sought after ones is the one where, I don't know if you remember the one where she's just holding a towel
Yep.
and she's just standing. I think that's the most probably sought after Adam Hughes cover in that run. But again, this one I'm still kind of surprised that for a final issue it's only 155.
It is. Yep. 155 all-time high sale. It's never
Wow.
sold for higher on record. So there you go. Pretty interesting. I
Yeah.
like that. Chip had saying he loves his signature. It's simple and cool, kind of like Cho. Then you got Michael Baker saying her face looks like Carrie Fisher, and I could totally see that
I
now.
can see that, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, man. So 155 US dollars for Tomb Raider issue 50. Dragon Ball. Let's talk Dragon Ball. Pacino would be having a heart attack if he saw this right now because a limited edition holofoil that was limited to 5,000 copies.
Wow.
A raw copy sold for 1,350 US dollars, and it was a cover price daily shaker, not a all-time high, but still an impressive sale. And dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, listen, a lot of these limited like Dragon Ball issues, like there was that preview one that had only 3 pages. I know that goes for some stupid money. I wasn't even aware of this one until you put it on the slide. I mean, 5,000 might seem like a high print run, but keep in mind also it was also like this. Do you remember what year this was released in? Like, it was probably early 2000s, right? Or 90s?
I could find that information for
Because
you.
like depending on the era, that's why like when you say 5,000 now, it doesn't seem like much, but like there are certain points in time where like even 5,000 print run, just the whole distribution aspect of it just makes it scarce. So 1,350 doesn't surprise me too much, honestly, because one thing I know about, like, just talking with Pacino and some other DBZ fans, they're pretty rabid, and if they want their Dragon Ball issues, they'll seek it out. So
Oh yeah, no, that goes without saying. It actually came out in 2003.
exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's over 2 decades, this issue. So,
Yeah,
and I imagine also these holofoils during the course of time, probably, like, if they weren't kept properly, didn't exactly fare well.
yeah.
So again, condition is also probably plays a factor in the sale as well. So
Absolutely. I
yeah,
agree with you. But yeah, very impressive raw sale, 1,350 US dollars. Now check this. This is another all-time high sale for Ghost Rider issue number 6 because there's only 15 CGC 9/8s on the census of this book, and a CGC 9/8 sold for 750 US dollars. I think the cover's neat, bro. I really like this cover.
yeah, the whole transformation of the back and all that. For a second, I thought it was Donald Trump turning into Ghost Rider, but um, yeah. Listen, anytime you can find like a 25 center for a 9/8, it just seems like, in my opinion, anything less than a grand for something of that era seems like a good buy in general. Just because how, just to put in perspective, we're talking about like a book that's almost like 4 decades old, and the fact that it can keep a pristine 9/8 condition,
Yeah.
that's saying something. So yeah.
Nah, exactly, man. I'm not too sure who is the cover artist. I don't know if it's Romita. Um, I gotta double check that information. But anyways, besides the point, I just think that this is a very impressive sale, wonderful book, and yeah, 750 US dollars for a Ghost Rider issue number 6. Some artists don't know how to draw a Cooper. Then you have Michael Baker saying 750 seems low. Goodbye here. It's actually an all-time high. So yeah, there you have it. Spawn 220, not sent to me by Michael Baker, guys, right? I'm equally as shocked, but the 1 in 50 ratio by Todd McFarlane, CGC 9/8 sold for 950 US dollars. Again, it is a cover price daily shaker, and it is the all time high sale for this one.
Yeah, and this was also during the period in time when Spawn had a lower print run. Like, I know during the 230, 240 ish like number, like the print run was very much lower. So the fact that there's ratios on top of that, I can't see a lot of these copies floating online. So again, 950 for a 9/8. I keep saying it throughout the show, but it just seems like a decent buy for something that I don't foresee seeing that many copies of floating
Yeah.
around.
And you know what's interesting about this is that this cover sold for 950 US dollars, but there's also a cover D black and white incentive sketch that was done for this that has Spawn on the cover.
Okay.
And that also sold for an all time high yesterday. So both books sold yesterday. And this one's selling at 950. The other one that I was just talking to you about, the cover D, the black and white incentive sketch by Todd McFarlane, sold for 850 US dollars. So imagine both these books went yesterday for pretty impressive points, and that 850 sale is also the all-time high. So very, very impressive.
Honestly, if you want a series that's easy, like if you want to sell like a series that's easy to sell, especially in the issue 200, not so much like the early issues, they're more scarce, readily available. But if you have any Spawn issues from like the early 200s, late 100s era, you're always gonna have a buyer for those kind of Spawn issues because Spawn fans are rabid.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Shout out to Blood Sausage. Just saw you in the chat, so just want to say hi. I appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us tonight. But let's keep it rolling with the Cover
Mm.
Prize Daily Shakers because, well, what would this show having hyper combo comics on be without a TMNT book? And TMNT #1 San Diego Comic Con exclusives from 2024 still pumping some numbers. And Andrew Curry put out a fantastic cover here. A raw near mint copy of this book sold for 350 US dollars. Again, a cover price daily shaker and a new all-time high for this one.
Dude, this is one of the reasons why me and you should get our asses to San Diego Comic Con one of these days, because yeah, we're missing out on covers like this. Like, dude, if I was on the show floor, I definitely would grab it if I had the opportunity.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
it's sick. I love this cover.
yeah, it's I mean, it's very minimal and yeah, this like just I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say, but it would have been a definite buy on my end.
No, dude, I don't even doubt it. I mean, it's
I
you.
just well, I just like the fact that you don't see a lot of covers like this where it's pre-mutated like turtles and Splinter. Like more often than not, it's a in their mutated form. So it's kind of cool that it's a cover where it's them in the ooze and all that, with Splinter on top. So yeah, it's just a cover like a take you don't see that often.
Yeah. Now, it seems there was two of them. Like the, as you can see, you see the like the logo right under Splinter.
Yeah,
It's gold, right?
is it gold? I mean, it looks kind of silverish.
Okay, so sorry. There's a copy that is gold and limited to 50.
Okay,
So this image here is the wrong one. Just wanted to show
okay,
you,
okay.
differentiate and show you guys the error. The one that sold for 350 US dollars is actually limited to 50. And
50. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly. And under Splinter, that like toxic logo there, is 50. Sorry, it's gold, and that would be the difference between the two. The other one, because this was by Wanted Comics and Webster's Vault, so this is the gold leaf, gilded version of it, and then you have the one that you see here on the slide. So the actual image of the comic is incorrect, but this one is actually limited to 1,000. So just so you know what the difference is, should you seek one out online.
I'm just curious, like when you have something as low as 50, how do they distribute it? Like, is there like a lottery system? Like, because I don't know if it's just a matter of people lining up. Like, and the first 50 people get cut off. Like, that's just seems like a very, very, very low number.
No idea, no idea. But this is absolutely an amazing cover. I agree with Paul saying not the biggest TMNT fan, but this cover is fire. I am not as big of a fan as Hyper Combo Comics. I think that goes without saying. But I grew up with TMNT. I love TMNT. I'm currently reading the Jason Aaron stuff. I'm loving it. And yeah, Steve saying, "Damn, I missed this bad boy." That's
And he
very,
was at SDCC.
yeah, lucky guy, man. I wish I could go. But
Mm.
anyways, 350 US dollars for a near mint plus copy. Speaking San Diego Comic Con, this ash can of Absolute Batman keeps popping up, and here is the foil that was limited to 500 copies. Raw near mint plus saw a huge sale, and in fact, the biggest sale to date. 700 US dollars, bro. It is safe to say that the hype behind Absolute Batman is very well in effect.
Yeah,
Covrprice Daily Shaker.
yeah. It's from from the small conversations I've had about just the whole absolute universe. Like people are saying that this is going to be something big and something to look out for in the DCU.
Yeah.
So, and if that's the case, then these ash cans, are going to be one of those scarce. Again, 500 copies. It's going to be those rare items that people are going to seek after. Because from all accounts, it seems like this is going to be some like a series that will probably hit the ground running.
Yeah. No, dude, it's honestly, in my opinion, it is going to be exactly that. It's going to be one that I highly recommend everyone picks up. Don't be surprised come release day. Although this book has hit several thousands of copies on pre-order, I still think it's going to dry up on the shelves. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, very interesting $700 sale for this raw near mint plus copy. Um, Derek saying the cover A had like 200,000 pre-orders thanks to PC. Well, we're going to get into that a little after in the hot topics. Totally not my fault. Not my fault. Steve saying I've been hearing this is good. Oh yeah, it's going to be amazing, guys. But anyways, let's keep it rolling cuz Captain America issue 100 back to Baker Shaker territory. CGC 98 sold for 10,000 US dollars. Captain America 100 51 98s actually exist on the CGC census, which is pretty impressive to be honest. Dude,
Yeah.
51 of those, but 10,000 US dollars. I actually said it, I believe, last week or 2 weeks ago. there's no way we're gonna get Captain America 1. I don't have that kind of coin. I don't think I ever will have that kind of coin. But if there's ever an alternative, I really like Captain America 100, where it kicks off, right? It takes off from Tales of Suspense, issue 99. This is a great book to have in your collection.
Yeah, I mean, look, like you're not kidding about Captain America 1. I think for a lot of us, that ship has not just sailed; it never even arrived at the port. Um, yeah, look, and I think AOA probably got the winning bid on this book. If I'm not too surprised if she did. Uh, Look, an iconic Silver Age issue from the Cap run, and like you said, this is and when I use the word consolation, and I don't mean to demean this book, it's still a great book in its own right. So a 9.8 of this is, especially with that black on top of, behind the Captain America, lettering. It's not a tough book to get in that grade, let alone the fact that it's a Silver Age. So
Yeah.
shit, man, it's pretty impressive still.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. But guys, that was actually the market report. But before you go anywhere, we do have the hot topics, and let me tell you, there are some hot topics. But I just want to show you guys a little something when it comes to Covrprice's website and what they offer if you are actually a subscriber. So if you're wondering how it is that I come across these daily shakers, well, here you have it. Covrprice.com. You can check out, obviously within your collection, what is your current, trending books at the moment. But here, once you are a member, you can see you have multiple options that you can select from. And one thing I highly enjoy doing is checking out the daily shakers. And on the daily shakers, you will see books that are selling daily and whether or not they're hitting some new all-time highs, etc. And you can see there's many cool books here, lots that we're very familiar with. In fact, we actually spoke about this Spawn 283, but it was the black and white cover.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I enjoy doing is using the filters, and with the filters, you can choose to show only variants, which is pretty fun. So you can see some of those variants that are making some moves on the secondary market. I love this Doom cover, dude. This cover is so sick.
Is that Sinkowitz?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
There's this David Lopez for all new Wolverine, the 1 in 25. CGC 98 sold for $300. I love this feature over on Covrprice, the daily shakers, but my favorite filter to use is by far only show me new all-time highs, which is something that I think Covrprice is doing amazing, recording this data. And as you can see, some of the books that we spoke about tonight, here you have the cover E for the black and white incentive of Todd McFarlane's Spawn 220. Here's the other cover that I was telling you guys about. You see, we just spoke about this Batman Ashcan right here, Absolute Batman. Lots of books where you can see those new highs going for. So if you're looking for just all-time highs, what just sold at its all-time high, here you go. You can use the filter. And yeah, man, one of my favorite tools to use is really Covrprice. Not because I do shows with them, not because I'm part of the shakers or whatever it is. It's just I'm being sincere when I tell you it's got to be probably one of the best tools for us comic collectors. So I highly encourage everybody to check it out, man.
Yeah, I'm not even affiliated with Covrprice, and I use it. And yeah, it's it's a very easy to use format. So definitely in terms of basically, if you could go down the rabbit hole and you can really get lost in terms of just scrolling to get just sales and data and all that. You could find some good info on it.
Yeah, guys, StreamYard came out with weird new features. Like we can enter squares now. We can enter. Oh, hi! It looks like a Zoom call.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I don't know. I'm just enjoying all these new features. I'm trying to check them out. But let's get into the final segment of the show, and of course, it's the hot topics. So Hyper, for the last time, you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Bye. All right, guys, hot topics of the week, and Jesus Christ, I think I'm starting to come down with something. I'm feeling stuffy and disgusting, so I apologize if I sound like shit tonight, guys. But hot topics.
I thought you were doing a segue.
No,
I was
I'm
like,
not.
I was like, where's this heading into?
Well, segue. I'm being honest, man. I'm
Okay.
starting to feel a little congested and feverish, but whatever. We'll
Right.
get through the show. We're at the back tail. Let's get into some of the hot topics. And the first one I want to talk about right here, we're going to get into some heavy ones, guys, especially the Frank Miller stuff. I really want to touch base on that. Sebastian Stan defends the MCU after fan criticism. Now, something that Sebastian Stan said, of course, if you're not familiar, he's the Winter Soldier, but the MCU is a big part of what contributes to this business and allows us to have smaller movies as well. So, what is he talking about? The cinema business. It feeds in so many more ways than people sorry, yeah, then people acknowledge. Sometimes I get protective of it because the intention is really fucking good. It's just really fucking hard to make a good movie over and over again. Now, it's becoming really convenient to pick on Marvel films, is what he's saying, and that's fine. Everyone's got an opinion, Stan argued, but they're a big part of what contributes to the business and allows us to have smaller movies as well, which is what we just said. Um, he continues on by saying, this is an artery traveling through the system of this entire machinery that's Hollywood. It feeds in so many more ways than people acknowledge. Sometimes I get protective of it because the intention is really fucking good. It's just fucking hard to make a good movie over and over again. So I agree with him. I know that the state of the MCU is not in its top form. The part I agree with him the most is that whether you want to admit it or not, what has been carrying the cinema scene in general, dude, comic book movies have been doing that. The MCU has been doing that, and I hope DC is going to do the same thing now. And DC has done relatively well at the box office. You know what I mean? Especially now with Gunn coming in, I imagine it's going to continue to do so. The movies haven't been as good. It is what it is. I'm excited to check out Thunderbolts. I think it's going to be impressive. But I don't entirely disagree with it. There's one part I will say I agree is that cinema itself, you take away the MCU for the last 10 years, you're leaving a lot of money on that table that would have not ever existed.
I mean, look, the thing is, I'm not surprised by his stance because look, he's part of the MCU. I mean, of course he's gonna take up for the studio that pays the that butters his bread. Of course he's gonna defend them and stick up for. But look at the last line he just wrote. It's fucking hard to make a good movie over and over again. Yeah, but guess what? Marvel has the budget and they have the bandwidth to make good movies over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, of course. It's the thing is, when you make a banger, yeah, the tough task is how can I follow that up. But you know what? That's why you have the $1 billion gate, because people have faith in the studio. So it seems like a bit of a cop out to say it's hard to make a good movie over and over again. So is that to say that we're supposed to accept mediocrity in that case, just because
Yeah, exactly.
it's hard to look? That's why they're in the business positions they're in, and we're just viewers.
Exactly.
We're not like if it wasn't hard, then everyone would be a director for MCU. It's hard because there's brain trust that should be able to get in the war rooms, make. And the thing is, the source material is there. There's a lot of untapped source material in the MCU that they could easily tap into. And
Exactly.
that, like, if you look at just phase one, how well that did, because the phase one stuck more closer to the source material than the deviations that they've been doing later on in the MCU. I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence. So it just seems like I said, it just seems like a bit of a cop out just to say that it's hard to make a good movie. That's like going to your job and saying, yeah, it's hard to do certain things, but you still got to do it. And look, put it this way, the fact that the only reason we're complaining is because we give a shit. Otherwise, the worst thing you can have is apathy, when no one really cares and basically no one just pays attention. You should kind of be thankful that people are voicing their opinions, because
And they
people
should. Yes.
people want Marvel to do good. It's not because we're not just complaining for the sake of complaining, because we knew the golden years of the MCU and we wanted to get back into those prime again. I mean,
Prime days, bro.
that's my stance.
I agree with you 100%. In fact, Michael Baker even brings up another good point where he's saying that, Deadpool and Wolverine proves give the fans what we want instead of what Hollywood wants, and we'll show up and pay. It's really not that hard. And it is true, man. Like, you look at, dude, Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters has now passed the Avengers in all-time grossing. It's, in my opinion, it speaks volumes. Kind of like what Michael Baker just said, how
Yeah.
you give us what we want, and yeah, we are going to show up. And that's pretty much it. Is, yeah, we do want to see, good movies. We would like to see more movies, but I mean, again, it comes down to quality over quantity, and I the fact he even says that last part of, it's hard to make a good movie over and over again. That was kind of a bummer line to receive, but I still agree with the first part and the fact that this is, comic book movies in general, pop culture movies in general, fucking Barbie killed it at the box office. You know what I mean? Like, you got to give credit where credit is due, and that I will not take away from the MCU. I wouldn't.
And look, it's proof that also it's not so much the character that makes the movie; it's the actual story and the plot. I mentioned this before. Iron Man, you could fight me on this, newbie. Iron Man was considered almost like a D-list character to a lot of people before the
Yeah,
MCU.
yeah,
It's because it was a strong first outing. I mean, say what you will about the sequels, but that strong 2008 movie really cemented him as a household name. So just, I mean, like I said, if you have a strong plot and you have a strong story, shit, you could take any character and make them like a powerhouse in the MCU.
yeah. I agree with Chiphead as well, saying I'm not sure a studio should bend over to what the fans say they want. To a degree,
But
I think you should always factor what is important to the fans, like what works with fans. And if they did that, you wouldn't get Penguin or Guardians. Guardians, yeah, I agree. That was completely left field, and it fucking stuck. It was so good, so
but
good.
but this was my point about how this is why like they're in the position here they're in. We're in the position as fans. I get it. We don't have creative control, but at the same time, we also vote with our wallets. We
Yeah,
see what we like what we see, and we pay, and then that's how we enjoy
yeah.
the.
I think what we're trying to say is like, we want you to be creative. Don't bend to us on a
Yeah,
creative side, but when it's shit and we tell you it's shit, and to try to avoid doing something like that again, like example, Thor: Love and Thunder. Don't give me that again. Like, if you're gonna make a Thor movie, please, for the love of God, give me a fucking solid Thor movie. You just ruined God, Gore. Sorry, the God Butcher.
yeah. That almost seems like that movie just seemed like more like being different for the sake of being different.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like there was much thought process behind it.
Exactly, and it did not stick the landing. But yeah, anyways, I thought this was interesting. It's clearly debatable. I mean, we can have great conversations going even for longer, but we'll keep the show rolling. I do agree with him on the first part. The second part, making a good movie over and over again. Try. You know what I mean? Listen a little bit. Have they made another Thor: Love and Thunder? No, thank God. Thank God. In fact, they haven't made much since. But
Yeah.
let's keep it rolling. Devil May Cry is going to have an animated series coming to Netflix in April 2025. And bro, I am pumped for this. I think majority of us here are gamers. Those of you tuning in, I would assume, may have played Devil May Cry. Dude, one of my favorite series ever. I highly recommend that anyone who hasn't played Devil May Cry do give it a whirl, because now coming to an animated series, this is going to kick some serious ass.
Yeah, I mean, look, this might be the closest thing to Blade if Blade ever, doesn't show up in the MCU or anything. But yeah,
Yeah.
Devil May Cry, just like you, I'm a fan of it, and Netflix generally does pretty well with their animated series, like from the video game standpoint. Shit, I can't remember. There was another video game property that they really hit it out of the park. But yeah, this one I'm definitely going to be watching. And I don't know if they're planning on dumping the whole episode in one go or if it's going to be week by week. Either way, gonna watch it. And those Devil May Cry issues aren't that hard to find, and they're not that expensive at the moment. So if you're hunting for those, you
Yep.
may want to take a look.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to show you guys just very quickly. I'm not going to play the entire video simply because, well, I just might get a strike or banned for this or whatever. But hold on, where did it go? Devil May Cry, Netflix. There you go. So I'm just gonna show you guys. So as you can see, I'll show you some little stills here. But here's what the animated is looking like, and it's looking pretty cool, man.
His name is Dante.
Now, of course, Dante being the main character. There's an official teaser here, and I think it looks great, dude. Um, animation wise, look at that, dude. It looks fucking awesome. Devil May Cry. Obviously, the graphics and the animation, it's two different things. But this is officially coming April 2025. Dude, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, and the art style, like I didn't actually see the trailer until you just showed me those stills right now, and that's kind of like the art style that I was hoping for, more that anime like esque kind of dynamic action. So yeah, it definitely seems to lend well to the property.
Yeah, can't wait. Now, we were talking animated. I don't know if you guys saw this for Batman Day, but there was a Batman and Sonic crossover, which I thought was really cool as well, man. And Hyper actually didn't get to see this until we were backstage, so I
Mhm.
made sure to show him prior to going live. In fact, that's probably why we were running a little bit late, but I want to show you guys as well in case you missed it. Now, it kicks off with some Batman classic animated look right here. And then you can see this guy walking away with a bag of money, it seems, or jewelry, whatever it is. But check this, man. When Shadow pops up, look at this. How sick!
This is
How
one of those
sick.
things that, like, if you were in the theater and you saw this, people would be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, that's dude. I know they did this for fun and as a teaser, just to celebrate Batman Day, and it was the official Sonic the Hedgehog's YouTube page, which is
Mhm.
pretty neat. But I really hope we do get something a little more, man. I hope they give us some stuff like this. This was absolutely awesome. Just 20 seconds worth. I was like, yeah, give me more, man. Give me more. So
Yeah, this is one of those like crossovers I didn't know existed, but now I need it.
yeah, or you didn't know you needed until now.
Yeah.
So there you go. But pretty cool. I hope you guys caught that on Batman Day. Venom 3 can bring back the all black Necro Sword after the MCU wasted it. Now, what they're implying is obviously Knull with Sony. We just briefly spoke on Thor Love and Thunder. I don't trust Sony to do it either. I'm gonna be honest.
I was gonna say that the fact that Sony's supposed to be the savior of the Necro Sword, I don't know, that just seems like a bit of a it seems like a bit of a contradiction.
Yeah. So I'm glad we're on the same page, but I would like to see some backstory regarding the Necro Sword. Can they bring it back in some sort of fashion? I think, yeah, they could. I hope they can revive it and give it some justice because what we got was horrific. But yeah, Michael Schwartz, Sony is not much better. I don't see them doing this at all.
Uh,
That gore screenshot gives Derek some PTSD.
Dude, I shit you not. Like when I took a quick look at that slide, like without reading the title, I honestly thought you gave me the Arnold Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. I
Oh,
didn't
I
realize
see
that
it.
was Gore the God Butcher until
I
like
see it now.
because now I'm looking at it like you remember Arnold like but
Of
without the costume, like when he's Freeze.
So don't ask me what possessed me to do this, but on Crave, I
Oh no.
actually, yeah, I watched the Batmans, and let me tell you, watching Arnold as Mr. Freeze is just hilarious, dude. It's I don't even know how they moved forward with the movie
It's
with him as
listen,
as Mr. Freeze.
it's the epitome of guilty pleasure. Like
Yeah,
it has its place in campy movies that you just want to watch just because you want to punish yourself or you just want to take a
hey,
trip down memory lane.
you're gonna think I'm crazy. I could watch Batman forever nonstop. It's
Oh,
probably
dude,
my
yeah,
favorite. My favorite.
yeah. Like, look, there's a lot of bad movies that I rewatch just because almost as an ironic sense.
I'm starting to get concerned, but we won't touch a base. We won't touch on that topic for a little bit.
Which topic?
The self torture you're putting yourself through with all these bad
Oh,
films you watch. But anyways, let's move on from Venom 3. I wanted to just highlight this because I saw this earlier today. Chia Pet brought it up, and I was searching the internet and I saw that Marvel Studios and Sony are reportedly negotiating a new deal that would allow Tom Holland's Spider-Man to appear in other MCU projects. Now I know they had a deal locked down, of course, between the MCU and Sony, but what I'm thinking here is apparently, and even Chia Pet was saying the same thing. It's looking like another 6 movies that would allow for Spider-Man to appear in MCU projects. So I'm thinking now we're looking at post Secret Wars and such things. So yeah, I mean it's clear as day. I think Tom Holland, if willing, could pretty much lead the MCU moving forward. I mean, what other characters do we see really taking that mantle? With you're gonna have the Fantastic Four, you're gonna have the X-Men, but to keep that core, you know what I mean, of the MCU of what existed prior. Will Doctor Strange carry forth? I don't know. Spider-Man is one that I think would.
Yeah, I mean, look, Spider-Man's not going anywhere in terms of he's one of the most I mean, I think they did a study. I think it was either Batman or Spider-Man that's the most recognizable character in just all of pop culture. Um, look, this just benefits both Sony and Marvel, so it seems like a no-brainer to kind of have this deal in place because, yeah. Spider-Man is just one of those integral parts now in the MCU. So I don't see a future without Spider-Man, going forward.
Likewise, exactly. So, anyways, just wanted to highlight that. They're wasting Holland's prime. Yeah, Tom Holland will be Spidey at 90 years old. Yes, hey, they just celebrated the original Aunt May's birthday. Apparently, she's like well over 90 years old. So, shout out to her. I forgot what the actress's name was, but yeah.
Oh, the original. Okay, not Marissa Tomei.
No,
Yeah,
I'm talking
she's not 90.
Maguire. Tobey Maguire. No,
Yeah.
dude, Marissa Tomei. No matter, she could be 90 years old, then she would still be fine. It's
Wait,
Marissa
so
Tomei.
she's still alive? The original
Yeah, she's still alive and well, still doing good.
I wonder if, not to be morbid, but I wonder if the original Uncle Ben is still alive, like the actor. No, obviously Uncle Ben is long gone.
I'm not going to search it. If anybody in the chat
Yeah.
wants to let us know, please do. But yeah, so let's move on. All right, I'm going to keep it spoiler free, guys. Some of you may have had the opportunity to watch Agatha, and some of you may have not. So I will keep it spoiler free out of respect. We will touch on certain things that might be slightly spoilerish, depending on how Hyper feels tonight. Yes, Derek, I'm sorry. I agree. Tomei will always and forever be 46 years old, no matter what age she gets. But back to this Agatha stuff. If you guys watched it, there was episode 1 and episode 2 that came out, and Marvel just dropped another Mephisto reference and sparked the best new MCU theory. Now, everybody's been wondering exactly who Aubrey Plaza is going to be playing. And she teases that the fans will go crazy over the reveal of her character in Agatha all along. She says, I'm just so happy they let me play this character because it's like, I can't spoil it, but what happens, the reveal is pretty amazing. Now, you and I were talking a little bit about this earlier today. Myself, Chiapet, of course, and group chats, many people talking about it. Three names always come to up for conversation when it comes to who she could be playing. Now, I'm going to show you guys who I think. Here's Cynthia Von Doom, who is obviously the mother of Victor Von Doom. If you know her history, you would know it would be very fitting. Then there's also Morgan Le Fay. Morgan Le Fay with ties to the Black Knight, obviously witch, etc. Could be as well. Blackheart seems to be the heavy favorite after the 2 episodes for numerous reasons. In fact, she even drops a line where she says something about her heart is black.
Yeah.
And that one part, everybody is talking about, saying, excuse me, just because of that reference. You would think it's just an emo, reference, like, oh, my heart is black and it's for you type thing. I don't know. I took the first time I heard it, I was like, okay, it sounds just like an emo reference. Like, I don't know. I didn't make anything of it, but there's way other things that obviously give us hints of why it could be Blackheart. Who I hope for? Well, provided Fantastic Four's history in comics, when you look at the Fantastic Four, Agatha was the nanny for Franklin, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was the nanny. So I would like to see a tie with Cynthia Von Doom. Story-wise, I think it would be great. Morgan Le Fay makes a lot of sense for numerous reasons as well. But Blackheart's, because we've been teased so much with Mephisto, and given that this Agatha show is now basically a spin-off of WandaVision, can we finally go that route? It seems very plausible. So, Hyper, what did you think?
Okay, well, slight spoilers. So just in case no one saw the first episode, actually, no, the first episode, just bear with. Now, I'm gonna not be too much on the spoilers, but I might have to lean into it a bit. I do feel that we're gonna be getting Blackheart in some form or fashion in the series because, and this is a very subtle hint. Like you mentioned some obvious ones, like the black, like literal black heart, like heart is black reference and all that.
Yeah.
But prior to that, there was something else that actually caught my eye, and I can't believe I'm actually going to be referencing this, but the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movie, right?
Yeah.
There was something that was similar to that movie and episode 1 of Agatha Harkness. I don't know what the name of the teen. Did they give the teen a name? In the actual episode yet?
Which team?
The kid that's following the kid that's been following Agatha around this whole time, like the emo dude.
That's fucking Wiccan, no?
Is it actually Wiccan?
Yeah.
See, this is where I'm kind of not too sure about if it's Wiccan or not, because they do this thing where Wes Studi, I think he's the guy that played Blackheart and Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider. He does this thing where his mouth kind of shuts up almost like Blackheart does. And the same thing happened with the teen in episode 1. It was very subtle, like when he's talking, his mouth just did this. I can't explain it. It was almost like a spider web kind of closure. And I don't know. I mean, I'm beginning to think maybe he might be actually Blackheart.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's supposed to be Wiccan. Hence.
Is it okay? So because I mean, it could be like what do you call it? Like a not a disguise, but like a red herring, maybe. I don't know. That was just something that I just picked up on because it was similar to that and the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. I mean, I could be out to lunch, but it was just one of those things I just kind of picked up on. And I mean, the whole thing about like a wandering sun, because that's the whole thing with Blackheart and Mephisto. Like he basically banishes his son to Earth, and if he uses power, he kind of goes mad.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the curse that Mephisto put on Blackheart. So I mean, again, this is just my out there theory.
So the heavy favorite right now is Blackheart. That seems to be the heavy favorite.
Yeah.
I would love to see either of the two with Morgan Le Fay or Cynthia Von Doom, but I do agree the heavy favorite seems to be Blackheart. So we'll see. Morgan Le Fay would be absolutely fucking awesome, especially with more ties to things that could come, right? With Black Knight, Cynthia Von Doom, again, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom. It makes a little bit of sense. So we shall see. But I will say very quickly, because I don't want to deep dive into what we thought about the shows. Episode 1 was very slow. Episode 2, things ramped up.
Yeah. Episode 1, that first half was a bit of a slog.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, I hope you got to watch it. Hyper, did you?
I have yet to see this.
Oh my God, you are missing out. And I got to tell you, the Penguin fans crowned the Batman spinoff as peak DC.
So wait, before you continue, I'm guessing only one episode has been.
One episode has come out, and I'm going to tell you straight up, it takes off immediately after the ending of the Batman movie.
Okay, I'll definitely watch it. It's like I said, there's just been a lot going on, and honestly, I just watched Agatha this weekend because I just didn't have the time to.
Colin Farrell absolutely plays an amazing. I hate the name change. They don't call him by his full name, but. I will say that the show is absolutely incredible. For myself, the episode 1 is a 10 on 10. I give it a 10 on 10, bro. Wow, I saw no flaws in it. It felt like DC's version of The Sopranos. And that's what we thought watching the trailers, right? You get that feeling even watching the show. It really gives us exactly what we were anticipating and more. It was just so well done. I think Chiapet was spot on. He called me yesterday, and he's like, you know what? He's like, Colin Farrell is to the fucking Penguin as Heath Ledger was to the Joker. And you go, and that is spot on.
Wow, that's some high praise.
It is a very high praise. I think Colin Farrell, 1 episode in, holy shit, that was a good show. That was fucking good.
Yeah, dude. I like I said, I just gotta make time to watch it. So definitely this week I will watch episode 1 before episode 2 drops.
Yeah. You know, I, it's funny that you say this. Yeah, you liked it, bro. I'm telling you, I'm already anxious for episode 2. I was like, shit, why they got to give me Agatha 2 episodes? Give me fucking Penguin 2 episodes. But anyways, it is what it is. But Ozzy, I want to bring this up because Marvel needs to take notes here. Yeah, you know, I kind of wish. Don't get me wrong. I love how we got Kingpin in the MCU, but man, could you imagine they would have played him out like this? Just a cold-blooded motherfucker. It was. I'm telling you, the Penguin is done so good. I want the universe with Robin Pattinson to continue just because of this.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I haven't seen this show, but I obviously have saw the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Yeah, and if this episode basically just ties into that universe, I'm all for it.
It does. Immediately after
Yeah,
that ending with the flood at the stadium and everything within Gotham, it takes off immediately from there. The arrest of Riddler, it starts right there, and then boom, we're straight into this, and it's amazing.
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
All right, yeah, definitely. I'll definitely make it a point to watch it before episode 2.
Yeah, there you go. See, everyone's feeling the same. I'm happy to see the chat right now praising DC. DC needs this love, bro, because they are killing it. Colin Farrell's no small time name, bro. The guy fucking crushed it. Uni saying he killed it as Penguin. Steve saying I wanted more, dude. I couldn't agree more. But yeah, we'll have to wait for episode 2 on Thursday. Can't wait, man. All right, guys, we got some solicitations for December. We're gonna jump into some of these very quickly before we sign off. And comic books. I want to talk comic books for a second. New Marvel comic series to explore different Galactus heralds. Now, I like these what ifs every now and then, man. Sometimes they can be a little too whack for me, and it's not my type of shit. But Galactus, I will always fuck with Galactus. I will always rock with Galactus. I will always read these things. I love this. Now, we've got 5 different heralds that are going to be coming for, under Galactus here. You've got Moon Knight, you've got Rogue, you got Spider Gwen, which I think is whack. But I'm curious to see how this plays out. But the 2 I'm looking forward to, Gambit seems really interesting. I think this is going to be awesome. Michael Schwartz is one of the biggest Silver Surfer fans that I know. I know you must be curious about this one. But the Hulk is looking crazy as hell too. And I can't wait for this. Now, look at this Stephen Platt cover for the What If
Wow.
Incredible
Yeah.
Hulk. I think this is an automatic cover of the year for myself, and it's only kicking off towards the end here. But dude, I love this. I love this cover. I love this idea. These are the 2 I'm keeping my eye out on, but I have a feeling Moon Knight might surprise us.
Yeah, I mean, look, these what if storylines are always cool just because they're self-contained more for the most part, and you don't really have to follow a lot of the continuity. So it's almost like as a reader, you can jump onto these and just enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah.
And Marvel's smart to kind of play into this because Galactus is one of the more popular villains in MCU lore. So to kind of do more and they've done heralds before, like what if Silver Surfer, that spin-off in the 90s. So it's a smart play to kind of introduce other heralds in the what if for Galactus and then see their take on it. And I guess we'll find out who the writers are. And I'm sure they're going to have some big name writers for these what ifs. So yeah,
Yeah.
it should be some interesting one-offs to kind of keep an eye out for. And look, it could be a case where we have seen what if characters that when they do kind of gain notoriety, they end up coming into the mainstream of Marvel. So that's the other thing. Not all what if characters are just one and done. Depending on their popularity, they may end up transcending into the actual mainstream Marvel, universe.
Yeah. Now they're gonna be releasing like every week type thing. Like, so you're gonna get, let's say, don't quote me on the order of how it's gonna come out, but I think we're gonna be getting like you'll get the Moon Knight one, then you'll get the Hulk one, and like we're gonna be seeing these pretty much on a weekly basis type thing, which is pretty cool. But I just want to show you guys real quick because so far we're not seeing too many covers, right? This is only coming out in January for those of you that were wondering. but I just want to show you real quick because I know we're getting close to the 2 hour mark, and I thank all of you for hanging out for 2 hours because show could be a little bit long sometimes. But here, look, you got all 5 here. So let's check the Gambit ones. So I just want to see some of the other covers. Nothing's available yet. I know on the Hulk one, we already have what the fuck? We already have the Stephen Platt one that I showed you, and there's also the Ryan Brown that you saw at the headline of the article. I think this is sick.
Yeah,
This looks amazing.
It's simple, but it's effective.
Yeah, I think it's an amazing cover. I don't think there's anything more for the Moon Knight one. Yeah, nothing at all. So we're gonna keep an eye out for sure. I want to see what covers we're gonna get for this because it's looking amazing. But this Platt one, yo, this is an absolute must grab. There's a lot of nice covers available just in general on the solicitation that came out even for December, which I actually want to talk about real quick, man. I don't. Oh fuck.
We're really gonna end on this.
Well, we're gonna get into this, man. I want to talk about it. Yeah, yo, love for comics. I agree. I love Ryan Brown. Uni saying he needs that, and I assume he's talking about the Platt or the Ryan Brown.
I don't think he's talking about this.
No, absolutely not this. Galactus junkie for sure. Chia Pet saying it's all about Galactus and Doom. 100%, man. That's what I'm pumped about. No love for Frankie Nova as Herald. Oh, yo, I love Frankie Nova as the Herald. Not sure if Ultimate 4, 1 in 25 or Venom War, Wolverine Cassara. I don't know if he was talking about something else. But anyways, let's get into it real quick. Full December 2024 Marvel Comics solicitations, new Wolverine, Venom, and more. And yes, I shared a video. I shared a video on Instagram. I know you saw it. Dude. The brother is.
Yeah. That's the perfect GIF for this. Yeah.
I was. Bro, I love Frank Miller. I think we all love Frank Miller. We want to remember OG Frank Miller, right? But what's happening now, Frank Miller? I feel bad, dude. It reminds me of the Undertaker, and I know you're probably wondering.
I was gonna mention a wrestling analogy, and you beat me to it. But go on, yeah.
Sorry about that. The Undertaker literally came out in a documentary saying, I don't want to be that old guy that doesn't have it anymore. And I become a living meme of myself, right? And certain wrestlers have gone through that. Ric Flair is one.
That's the name that I was actually going to bring up, yeah.
Yeah, and Undertaker said he wanted to pull the plug on a high note, right? And even at that, he was getting to...
This is definitely a high note, but not the high that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Frank Miller, bro. Frank Miller, please. I don't think it's for money. I maybe it's just for the love of comics. But if you love comics, yeah, you're not. I think you know where I'm gonna go with this. I don't want to say it out loud. I kind of feel bad, but it's brutal, dude. I was looking at the Sabretooth cover, and it doesn't end here. There's a lot more covers that have been coming out, and Frank Miller for myself is one that I consider. I don't even know if I would you put him on the Mount Rushmore? I don't know.
Of course. The thing is, look, say what you will about what's been happening lately with these covers. It doesn't detract from what Frank Miller has done to the comic industry. Like, look, he has given what arguably some would consider the greatest Batman story ever, Dark Knight Returns, and he brought 300. He'll always have his place in comic, and I don't know if, I have to think long and hard if he'd be in my Mount Rushmore, but to a lot of people, Frank Miller sure would be in their Mount Rushmore of, comic creators. But dude, at this point, it just feels like, and this is not so much on Frank Miller. I'm actually going to put this more on Marvel. It just feels cruel on Marvel's part.
Yeah.
You can't objectively tell me, if you're one of the brain trusts of Marvel, that you looked at this and you thought this passed the smell test. I mean, Dick knows Sabretooth, this is what we're getting lately. Marvel, I'm sure that they're also hearing the opinions. They're not tone deaf. They probably are seeing what people are saying, or hearing, what people are saying. So at this point, it just feels like it almost feels like a cruel joke on Marvel's part. Let's see if we can ride this guy's name out and if people still buy. Because correct me if I'm wrong. Are they still doing those 1 in 100 virgin variants of these Frank Miller covers?
I hope not when it comes to this, but what I do want to say is I love Frank Miller. Dude, Frank Miller covers for me are some of the most, by far the best covers in from Marvel Comics. Like you, dude, you think back to fucking just the Wolverine one limited edition is probably one of the most classic, iconic covers, right? For
Yeah.
Wolverine, for
Yeah.
literally Wolverine, and now where we're at, I feel bad. Like I almost feel like, kind of what you were just saying. That is Marvel milking it, and let's see how far we can go with this. Nobody can receive this on their table and be like, yeah, this is the hottest shit since fucking sliced bread. No, this should be stopped, in my opinion. Like, let the guy go out on a high, talk to the guy. You know what I
The
mean? It's
thing,
like, you're my friend, bro. You're my friend. If I see you doing shit that, like, dude, I'm gonna stop you and be
I
like,
don't know
hey,
about that. You'd probably let me fall on my face if I was being
well,
honest.
it kind of depends what's at hand, but no, I would look out for your best interest. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
But
dude, you can still work in comics. We can do something else with you. You can be, an editor or whatever. But I don't know, man.
it's just that like I don't think at his age I would I'm just making an assumption. I don't think Frank Miller is on the pulse with social media as much. So I don't think
Yeah,
he probably absorbs all the criticism maybe as you may think. So that's why I think this is more on Marvel's and really because they're the ones that basically give the green light for these covers. So and like I said, all you need is two functioning pair of eyes to kind of make these kind of decisions. It doesn't take. I mean, this isn't. We're not talking about color composition and all that. We're just objectively talking about is this a good cover or not. And you can't tell me if you polled 100 people randomly on a street that this objectively people will like. I would bet money if someone would actually say this was a dope Sabretooth cover.
yeah.
And not to be almost like in an ironic sense, just objectively, is this a dope Sabretooth cover? I
No,
am struggling to find anyone to say yes.
no, exactly. Now, how could I say it? I think to wrap it up, because I don't want to continue to like just talk bad about the guy, but like the artwork, there was a time where I would see artwork that was done by Frank Miller and be like, now you recognize immediately it's Frank Miller, right? And you're
Yeah.
like, this is peak Frank Miller stuff. Today's books that he's covers that are coming out, dude, it's Frank Miller, but it's not for a good reason. You know what I mean? You look at it and you're like, yeah, this is Miller, and I kind of feel bad.
And to Derek's point about let the man. I mean, look, dude. Sure, but here's the thing, though. That's why I'm saying this is more on Marvel's end, more so than Frank Miller. No, like we're not gonna stop Frank Miller from putting out his work, but it's up to Marvel to decide if they want to push this out or not.
Yeah,
And
we're
listen,
nobodies. We're nobodies. At the end of the day, we're nobodies. What we're
at the end of
saying
the
is
day,
gonna fall
yeah,
on deaf ears.
Marvel has a say, but keep in mind, yeah, you could put this out, but just know that you're just gonna get criticism like this, and you can't blame fans for actually criticizing because just because you are a legend doesn't mean that technically you have carte blanche to just kind of put out shitty covers, and we're just supposed to just accept it, you know.
Yeah. Now, I appreciate you talking about this, guys. We're gonna end on a high, and I promise you, I'm gonna hit you with a right hook. Get ready. Absolute Batman #1 has gotten over 200,000 orders. That's right. So the book has hit over 200,000 orders. Clearly, the hype is there for Absolute Batman #1, but with New York Comic Con up and coming, yeah, this exists. Frank Miller, there you go.
Wait, BC, just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go for it. Want to do a quick shout out to Synthetic Panels, who's here in the chat tonight. Appreciate you, Synthetic, for swinging by and hanging out. We're at the tail end of the show, but I appreciate you swinging by. Of course, any time you swing by, it's highly appreciated. Linman's in the house. What's going on, Linman? Appreciate you as well. Yeah, man. Subscribe to Synthetic Panels on YouTube. Right there, you got the link. Now, like I was telling Hyper, guys, New York Comic Con, we got a Frank Miller exclusive here. Again, Frank Miller doing Frank Miller things, but Absolute Batman #1 has gotten over 200,000 orders, and No surprise. No surprise. We spoke about it last week. I will tell you that everybody who has had the opportunity to read advanced copies are all saying the same thing. They're saying that this is giving the new 52 vibes, right? When new 52 hit, you got something refreshing. I'm going to remind you guys, we spoke about it last week, myself and Comic Chic. You're getting something totally different. Villains who we've known our entire life as villains. Guys, Batman's not rich anymore, right? In this universe, he didn't come up rich. He grew up in the streets. So those villains that were once upon a time villains in the regular DC universe, those are his boys. You understand? So things are clearly changing. The landscape for Absolute Batman has changed completely. Unfortunately for Frank Miller covers, it hasn't. It is.
I'm not gonna say any more about Miller. Listen, I said my piece. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm not gonna even touch on this.
There you go. But hype, that was actually the show, man. So I appreciate you hopping on. Chat, got 28 of you rocking with me even at the end of this show. Even though it went over 2 hours, I appreciate every single one of you who hung out with us. If you could just like, subscribe after the show. Comment below. Let's beat that algorithm. Let's get into the flow of the algorithm. Let people know that such a show and a channel exists. I would greatly appreciate it. But Hyper Combo Comics as well. Hyper's got his channel. Please go show some love. Subscribe to his stuff. You have content that just dropped from London Comic Con, where you interviewed such great creators, artists. Like I said, Ben Bishop. You're gonna drop a Kevin Eastman video, and you got some other stuff coming too.
Yeah. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I do have 2 or 3 more interviews in the pipeline that I got to drop, including a cool Kickstarter that I spoke with some of these guys that are really into TMNT. So that will also be dropping in the next 2 days. And like I mentioned, I'll be dropping my haul video from the Terrificon weekend, as well as just my thoughts on the con itself. And I mean, look, one thing that I kind of that's kind of happened as I've been dropping a lot of these YouTube videos is I'm getting the itch to kind of do more content on YouTube. So you'll probably be seeing more in terms of either my pickups, because I know a couple of people were asking about just doing general pickup videos. So I might start doing those, like hunting videos and all that, because that seems to be where it's my wheelhouse.
Bro, you find gold every time. I don't know how the hell you do it, man. You just picked up a collection, man.
I picked up a short box. I picked up a short box yesterday on a whim, and surprise, I had Popeyes on the way back home. But I picked up a short box. So I'll probably that might not be a bad idea to just drop a video on what I picked up in the short box. So there you go. So.
Yeah, man, you're always hunting, you're wheeling and dealing, man. I don't know how you come across finding such awesome collections. You actually, like I said, picked up a short box. You took a drive out to Ontario, so I look forward to seeing that video that's going to drop where we get to see what you picked up. And of course, I want to see more content, bro. You have now interview skills that we didn't know about. And
it can definitely improve. It can definitely improve.
It will improve. It will.
After hearing myself back, I kind of cringed a bit, but yeah.
Dude, so let's pull back the curtain a bit, okay? I don't normally do this. We'll do a after dark segment, and we'll keep the cameras rolling. I felt the same way when I was in a band. I was the lead singer, and it's the most awkward thing because when you're playing when you're playing an instrument, you are, let's say, playing drums, and you're wailing at it, and okay, let me do this, let me do that. Guitar, same thing. When you're doing vocals, yes, you do the same thing, but when you hear yourself back on the tracks raw, clean as fuck, right? It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
You hear it back and you're like, huh? That's what I sound like.
This is why I never rewatch any of our episodes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've never rewatched any episodes that I'm on with you. It's tough for me.
Yeah, thank you, Love for Comics. I appreciate you. But yeah, man, we will continue conversation backstage. To everybody who's catching the replay or you watching live right now, thank you so much. Like I said, comment down below. Let us know what you guys thought about the episode. And of course, you can catch me this Thursday over on Covrprice with the Shakers crew. That's right. We're going to go through some of those books that shook on the aftermarket this week. So I cannot wait to get together with the crew and go through all of that fun stuff. So guys, have yourselves a great week. Please stay safe, be good, and I will catch you Thursday. Adios.
Peace.